Yes, people. Morning, morning, morning. Grand Rising. I am pleased to have this
Door.
powerful panel here joining me for this Kemetic New Year. As people wake up, for those who have joined us, for those who have made the effort, for those who are here to receive the energy, yeah, blessings, light, love, you understand, to our people. I'm very happy to have this collection of Khmer people with me, joining us from the USA to the motherland, Africa, Sudan, to me in the UK, you understand, and wherever else the people are when they watch this. So again, big up to everyone. This is a Khmer New Year show. We're here to impart energy and celebrate this time and to let you know what it's really about. That's why the elders and the brothers and the sister is here. So without further ado, let my Siba take over and officiate and work out who's doing what. I'm here. I'm going to be coming in as always. As you come in, please hit that like button. And if you have any questions or any comments you want to say, please write them up. As always, donate, share, hit the like button. Thank you. Siba, begin, please. Blessings and love and light.
Dua. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the New Year's. Welcome to Ubin Spdt-Sirius Rising, Wet Ren Pet Digit Him, our New Year's celebration. And I'd like to begin by just saying, before we say thank you, Dua, to our brother Richie in the suit in the UK for allowing us to be on this broadcast, this platform, Black Ice TV 7. I want to give a shout out to my brother in the Sudan, the Siba, Heru, AMRU Mary Amen, Asiba Kepa Pata, Asiba Ramutep, and most of all, our great divine queen mother goddess, the feminine energy. We're giving blessings to Joy Allen and also to, Brother Riggs is there. Dua Asiba, Brother Riggs. And I want to first just say that everybody know this is the New Year's. You're supposed to be like, when you're down in Times Square in New York City for that Gregorian calendar, New Year's, Happy New Year. You know how you get when you're around that Gregorian Hellenistic paradigm doctrines of ancient humanity. You start acting like for that historical, fraudulent Gregorian chronological timeline, that foolishness. This is the Kemetic New Year's. This is the Upawat Samatawi. This is Ubin Spdt. Everybody rise. Everybody rise. Rise for Spdt. Spdt's rising. Everybody should know their past. I said everyone should know, but they don't know nothing, and they just keep running. You gotta bow your head to Africa. You gotta bend your head down low. She's our mother. You don't get no other. The year is number 10, AFNK/ST. Smatawi. 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 Everybody rise. Everybody rise. Rise for Spdt. Spdt's rising. We're dedicating this Ren Pet, Upawat Samatawi Ren Pet, to our great divine transition ancestor, Helical, the Hemtepi, the high priest of the white and gold lotus temple of Stone, shrine of Ahmed Ra, Stone Mountain, Georgia. We're giving praises to the great Siba and honoring him for all the work he did in all his life. He was transitioned last year. And we're honoring him today. And we're honoring him on tomorrow when we celebrate at the Museum of the National Center of Afro-American Artists, 300 Walnut Ave in Roxbury, Boston, Mass. At the Museum of the National Center of Afro-American Artists. I'm just bringing the introduction here. And I got everybody know that we got first frequency specifically Rod Never Rod. This is the stock gospel of the creation of Rod Never, and we're going to bring the joy and the love and the energy that is being I'm breaking up.
There you go. You're back again.
We're going to let everybody know. Back again? Okay. We're going to bring you the first frequency specifically Rod Never Rod. Okay. So we want everybody to hold on to the seats, hold on to the belts. Make you use your mind, because we're going to integrate this whole thing scientifically with the sacred science, the divine mathematics, and with our cultural, cosmic, collective consciousness, spiritual. This is our story. This is not history. We are not historians. We're not here to talk about his. We're here to talk about our story in cosmic time. Okay, so we're gonna break. So my name is Spdt-Sirius Anuk. Anuk means I am Anuk Spdt-Sirius Asa. I am the Royal Scribe Master Craftsman in Time of Teshi Para, and I am the Chief Executive Officer of the Nagatian Institute of Cosmic Awareness, Spiritual Consciousness, and Universal Enlightenment. This is the Naga Ship Association presentation, and we want to send it over now to my brother in the Sudan, AMRU, Mariamen Peru, so that he can introduce himself and tell us about just introduce yourself, Siba. Because afterwards, we're going to bring it to the Queen Mother Goddess, and she's going to facilitate this whole narrative is going to be facilitated by our great Queen Mother. Let the feminine energy facilitate this. This is just an introduction. And so, Dua Siba, Amru.
Okay, Dua U. Thank you, Siba Pata Sika Osa, and Brother Richie for having me on the show, and the sister and brother with us here today. دعاء حتبدي نسو السر نبجدو نتشرع نب أبجو عن خجاسة نب. I'm from Sudan, and born and raised, and I'm fascinated by the Kemetic legacy, the Kemetic spirituality, and our ancestors, they in the West, they've been living and they've been striving in the West. And we want to do the Samatawi, we want to do the unification between the East, the West, the West and the East. And it's a great time to be with you and to have this experience. And Anuk Sabah Nimadu Nature, that means I'm a teacher of the Midu Nature, the language. I'm trying to explore the language here in Sudan, trying to teach the people here, and trying to do some even political work regarding changing the system and going back to our roots, to our ancestors, and bringing back the legacy, the Midu Nature, and all that. Very excited. Here in Sudan, things are changing. There's a revolution happening. Democracy is coming. Change is happening. People are waking up. Women getting more freedom. Now women can walk on the street without a veil, without wearing a veil. That's something big deal. We're still backwards, but we're surviving. And that's about it. I'm native to Kush. I'm native to the land. And this is something people should recognize, because maybe in the future we can change everything and we can start our new, you can call it the new Kemet in Sudan. So thank you, and thank you for having me. I leave the mic to sister. Dua.
And we're going to let the Queen Mother Goddess speak, introduce herself. Queen Mother Goddess, Nefernet Turt, our Sibat, our Hemet, our Queen Mother Goddess, Joy Allen, from the memoirs of a Kemetic dynasty, and Dua Siba. Dua
Siba. I am, again, Joy Allen from a platform called the Memoirs of a Karmic Dynasty. I am a student here, and I am glad to be here. I am right now here in the city of Boston, and I'll be present at tomorrow's celebration of the Rimpet. And I just like to thank also Black Ice TV 7, Richie, for having us here today. Dua.
And of course, we have our great Seba from the Seattle, Washington area of the USA, Kepa Patah. He is the elder priest, student of Helical of the White and Gold Lotus Temple, Shrine of Amun-Ra. Dua Seba, Dua.
Necharak, Ra Nebateshara, Necharak, Amun-Ra, Nutatera Amun-Ra, Nukamun-Ra, Nukepra Patah. I am the hymn Necher of the Temple of White and Gold Lotus, of the Shrine of Kara Amun-Ra, student of the now and forever living ancestor, Helical. May many libations be poured out to his Ka, now and forever. I'm here in the Pacific Northwest, and like Seba mentioned, the beautiful Emerald City, aka Seattle, Washington, where it's forever green. I give thanks to Black Ice TV for having me on the show. I give thanks and praise to the Seba, the elders, the sacred feminine. I give thanks and praise to Sister Joy. I give thanks and praise to the cause of all present. Hatepu.
Hotapu.
Hatepu. Dua, Duau. And of course, we have our great elder Seba from the shrine, from the Tesha Pera, the Holy House of Ra. We have Ramutef Kweb. Dua Seba, Duau, Panata, Pama.
Panata, Pama, on Quasi Jet, Uncle Justin, Uber Nefi Care, Pana Buharu, my IT. Mesha Defaru, repet to everyone. Thank you for joining us on Black Ice TV 7. Big ups, big thanks. Thank you everyone for attending. Anuk Ramutef Kweb. I am Ramutef Kweb from the Temple of Tesha Pera, the official global distributor of the ancient Rosarian calendar, Solar Sitter Lunar calendar. Apologies. We are here today to bring in this great and divine first frequency energy to all those that's listening to the broadcast and in future present. We'll be attending, I myself as well will be attending the celebration out here in Boston over at 300 Walnut Avenue, Roxbury, Massachusetts. At this present time, let's go ahead and get with the show.
Dua. So before we begin, I would like to let everybody know we would have to first, we're all going to perform our rite of passage, our Hesi, our affirmation, our Saku, so that we may command the cosmic forces that allow us love, guidance, protection through the daily experience of pondable matter. We have to ask the ancestors for permission to speak. So we can no longer afford to operate in the 70s, in the 80s, and in the 90s. This is a new age order. See, they have a new world order, but we have a new age order. We have a great golden age of the great golden age of Mahara Piasa. It is a golden age order. They have a world order. We're going to smash this world order because we're going to remember who we are, because we are going to call upon the ancestors scientifically, mathematically, and with our cultural, cosmic, collective, conscious, spiritual. This is not spookism, family. Our spirituality is not spookism, okay? And we're going to show you how we address the ancestors to command the cosmic forces, so that we may ask the permission to speak from the ancient ones, the ancestors, and the Patnaterus, the gods and goddesses. And to do this, one must know where the star Spdt is at all time. That's why we're here today. We're here to celebrate the rising of the star Spdt, and the sun rises, breaks the plane together. That's called a helical rising, which means scientifically that our Earth has made one complete revolution around the sun. Scientifically, it means that our Earth has three motions. So we're going to go through all this pretty soon. But first, let us command these cosmic forces so that we may have the proper frequency in order for us to speak to the people, to the Ramech. Ramech in Meduneta means the people. We're here to address the first family. Our people who are listening today, you just experienced living in the great golden age of Pisces, which is Set. And we just entered the age of Aquarius, which is Ma'at HaPiasa upon the Neteruological star timeline. They have a Gregorian chronological timeline. We're going to operate on our story. So we're going to present the Hesi to you, and I shall perform first, so to set the tone. And I shall begin. Hetepu, Hetepu, Dua, 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 Duau, Duau, Anazarak Ramet, Hotep. Greetings in divine greatness, divine excellence to the first families. My Nagas, my Shemsarus, my Nesubitis, my Hemets, my Sibats, Mutatats, the immortal ones of Ma'at, cherished, phenomenon of precession, New Age order, great golden age of Ma'at Piasah, and all citizens, descendants of the Nile Valley cultural, cosmic, collective consciousness, spirituality. O Ast Ermut Patnataru Panebu, the mother of the Netarus, the mistress of Pet, the maker of mankind, she who is mighty in Usa Medu Nefer Heka'u, divine words of power, mother of all initiations. Bless us humble servants for Ankh, life not present, for we seek the counsel of the ancient ones and practice daily the ancient Ma'atian ways and ancient Ma'atian truths. We strive evermore to become one with thee in this world and in existence to come. We ask that you bless us on this, the first day of the year after the Helical rising. 359 days remaining until Ubin Spdt-Sirius rising. Upuat, Samatawi, Wetren Pet Dejit Heb, New Year's celebration. Today is the first day of the first month of Jehuti, the first day of Ra, the first day of the first month of the first season of Shemu, year number 10, AFNK/ST, after the founding of New Kemet, Naga Kemet, Samatawi, phenomenon of precession, New Age order, great golden age of Piasah. We ask that you bless our families and friends and all those of us who gather together to worship in your most holy, sacred, and glorious ancient Tamarian name of Ast Ermut Patnataru Panebu, for in the act of seeking you there is much comfort. So as it is spoken, so let it be written, so let it be done, so shall it be, for now and forever forward. Ra Nebateshira, Panata Apupamaat, Onkwas Dejit, Onkuja Seneb, Uben Nefikia Panebuaru Ma'ati, rising always in divine excellence with Ma'at, every day, all day. Dua, dua, dua.
Dua.
That's how we perform the Hesi of the opening of the mouth and of the Upuwat. This is the opening of the ways. We are opening the ways. Upuwat means to open ways. So we are here to open ways on a first frequency specifically. So we shall now call upon the great Queen Mother. We shall now call upon the great Queen Mother, Troy Allen, to perform her Hesi, her Saku, her affirmation, to command the cosmic forces that allow us love, guidance, protection through the daily experience of Pandava matter. May she evoke the ancestors, the ancient ones, and the Patnatarus with her words of Macharu. May she be true of voice. Dua, dua, sibat.
Hetepu, hetepu. Dua, duau. Nazareth Ramech. Hotep. Greetings and divine greatness, divine excellence to the first families. My Nagas, my Shimta Harus, my Nesubitis, my Hamets, my Siba, Sibat, and Mutnatarts, the immortal ones of Ma'at, cherished. Phenomenon of procession, New Age order, Great Golden Age, Ma'at Hapiasar, all citizens, descendants of the Nile Valley cultural cosmic collective consciousness spirituality. Nazareth. O Ast Ermut Puat Necharu Panebu, mother of the Puat Necharus, mistress of pets, maker of mankind. She who is mighty in Usur Medunefer, divine words of power, mother of all initiations. Bless us humble servants for Ankh life. Now present, for we seek the counsel of the ancient ones and practice daily the ancient Ma'atian ways and the ancient Ma'atian truths. We strive evermore to become one with thee in this world and in the existence to come. We ask that you bless us on this, the first day of the year after the Helical rising. 359 Haru days remaining until Helical rising. Ubin Spdt-Sirius rising. Uat Smai Tawi Wep Ren Pet Dij Heb. New Year's celebration. First Haru day of Ra, first Haru day, first month Jehuti, first Haru, first Abed, first season, Shamu 1:1:10. AFNK/ST, after founding of New Kemet, Naga Kemet, Smai Tawi, Rinpet, year number 10, Phenomenal Procession, New Age Order, Great Golden Age, Ma'at Hapi Asar. We ask that you bless our families and friends, and all of us who gather together to worship in your most holy, sacred, and glorious ancient Tamarian name of Ashramut Puat Necharu Pa Nebu. For in the art of seeking you there is much comfort. So as it is written, so let it be spoken. So shall it be done, so shall it be. For now and forever forward, Ra Nebuchadnezzar, rising always in divine excellence with Ma'at, every day, all day, Dua, Dua'u.
Your words are Macharu, Queen Mother Goddess. Your words are truth and righteously great. You are true of voice, and the gods and goddesses and ancestors and the ancient ones give you permission to speak. And I say to you, among with the other Sebas, Dua, Dua, Dua.
Dua, Dua.
Now we shall call upon our Seba Ramutef Queb to perform his Hesi, his Saku, his affirmation, command the cosmic forces that allow us love, guidance, and protection through the daily experience upon no matter, so they may have permission to speak to the Ramets, the first families, and to the audience. May he command the Usamedu Nefer, the divine words of power, and evoke the ancient ones, the ancestors, and the Netherus with his Hesi, his Saku, his affirmation. Dua, Dua'u, Ramutef Queb.
Hetepu, Dua, Dua'u, and Azrak, Ramech, Himhotep. Greetings, divine greatness, divine excellencies to the families, my Nagas, Simsarus, Nesubitis, Hamets, Sibats, Mutantats, the mortal ones of my chairs, phenomenon procession, new age order, great golden age of my high PSR, and to all the citizens and descendants of the Nile Valley Cultural Collective Consciousness Spirituality. And Azarak, or us, or the Mukwat Nataru Panebu, the mother of the Netaru, in Usa met in the fair Hakau, divine words of power, mother of all initiation. Bless us, humble service for Unk, now present, for we seek the counsel of the ancient ones and practice daily the ancient Montean ways, ancient Montean truths. We strive evermore to become one with thee in this world and existence to come. We ask that you continuously bless us on this, the first day of the year after the Helical rising. 359 days remaining till Uben something. We Rampet that you have. New Year's celebration. The first day of the first month of Tehuti. The first day of Ra. The first day of the first month of the first season of Shemu. Year number 10. AFNK/ST after the founding of New Kemet, Naga Kemet, Samatawi. Phenomenon, Procession, New Age, Order, Great Golden Age, and my PSR. We ask our families, our friends, and all those who gather together who worship in your glorious ancient Tamarian name of As Ermut Nataru Panebu. For in the art of seeking you, there is much comfort. So let it be spoken, let it be written, let it be done. So shall it be for now and forever forward. Ra, number Teshara, Panata, Papamaat, Onk, wants the jet, Onk, Ujasaneb, Uben. Nefi Care Pane Buharu, my IT, rising always in divine excellence with my all day, every day. Dua Siba. Unmute your mic, Siba.
Dua, ooh, Ramutef Queb. Your words are Macharu. You are victorious and righteously great. Your words are true of voice. You have commanded, evoked the cosmic forces that allow us love, guides, and protection. You have commanded the ancient ones, the ancestors, and the Patnetarus to allow you permission to speak before the royal family and the Ramech. And we say to you, Ramutef Queb, Dua, ooh.
Dua.
Now we call upon Kepra of the White and Gold Lotus Temple, Shrine of Amun-Ra. May you perform your Hesi, your Saku, your affirmation. May you command the cosmic forces that allow us love, God, protection, so that you may have permission to speak. May you command the Usa Medu Nefer, the divine words of power, to command these forces. We say to you, Kepra, Dua, Dua, Dua.
Hatapu, 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 duau, duau, duau. Anecharak, Ramet, Iam Hatep. Greetings in divine greatness, divine excellence to the first families. Managa, Shimzu, Haruz, Nesu, Biddies, Hemet, Sebas, and Sabats. Mut Neturts, Neturs, and immortal ones of Ma'at. Cherished phenomena of procession, New Age order, great golden age of Ma'at, happy Asar, and all citizens and descendants of the Nile Valley. Cultural, cosmic, collective consciousness, spirituality. Netarak Asr Mut Paut Peru Nabu, mother of the Paut in Peru, mistress of heaven, pet, maker of mankind, she who is mighty in Usar Medinfer, divine words of power, mother of all initiations, bless us humble servants for Ankh, life, being. Now present, for we seek the counsel of the ancient ones and practice daily the ancient Matian ways and truths. We strive evermore to become one with you in this world and in existence to come. We ask that we bless us and that you bless us on this first day of the year after the Helical rising. 359 days remains Uben Septet, Helical rising, Sirius Septet, Upat Smai Tawi, Wetman Pet, New Year's celebration, the first day of Ra, or the first Ra month of the Hudi, first day of season of Shem, year 10, phenomena procession, New Age order, great golden age of our happy Asar. In your most holy, sacred, and glorious ancient Tamarian realm of Astr Mutpaut in Peru, for the art of seeking, you there is much comfort, so as it is written, so let it be spoken. So shall it be so, let it be done, for now and forever forward. Ra never teshara. Hatapu.
Dua, dua, dua. Panata apu pamaharo kwas de jero kujasa devu de fike pa de buruma ati to you, Kapapata. Your words are usia, usa medu nefer. Your divine words of power are machiru. They are true and righteously great, and you are true of voice. You have commanded, evoked the ancient ones, the ancestors, and the Partnatharus, and you now have permission to speak before the Ramech. In the New Age order, the great golden age of Mata Sa, we say to the family, Dua, Dua, Dua. And we have just performed our Hesi for having permission to speak and before the great company of Neterus. And we call upon AMRU to speak from the Sudan. Dua Siba. Dua
Okay.
AMRU.
Dua, 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 حتبدي نسو السر نبجدو نشرعه نبأبجو عن خواز ديجيت عن خجاس نب بتاع حتب عن خواز ديجيت معاد حتب عن خجاس نب دواء ست سنوت سجب عن خجاس نب دواء صار نبقى بجو نبجدو نبججد عنخ وجا سنب دواء. I got a hissy for offering for Pa'ir Maki Abadamak, the lion nature.
Yes,
It goes like this. Nature nefer ru rasi a nature Pa'ir Maki Ojef CF Tup Awi Dua khu nature Pa Irmaki Dua U An Khwas Dijet An Uja Saneb Anuk Sabah Nimedu nature Rani Amru Mari Ma'at. So let it be, and so it's been said. Dua U An Khuja Saneb An Khwas Dijet Dua U.
Directly from the Sudan, directly from the pyramid, the Acropolis of Kerma, Murdy, and Napata. That's how we say, that's the Hesse from the Sudan. So we are here to let you know. So right now, this is first frequency specifically. Right now, if you feel a little pinch behind the back of your ears there, that's your pineal gland. It's discreting energy. It's discreting fluid now. If you feel a little tingle on your back, oh no, that's your chakras. That's your chakras there. Stopping for the knowledge of this divine order. She just donated. Our great Queen Mother Goddess, Lakeith the Bird, just donated $5 to Black Ice TV. Want everybody to know, y'all see the description down below. We're bringing it to you. We need y'all to like, subscribe, and also donate to Black Ice TV right now. All that marijuana, all that reefer you've been smoking up all day long, save some of that money and send some of that money to us over here. We're charging. This information is for free. This is your information. All we're doing is revealing. All we're here to do is help you remember. You've lost your memory. We're here to bring the great Sebas here to help you remember. And like the Queen Mother just did, without us even telling her to donate, she already donated. So we want everyone else to spend some money for Black Ice TV and Richie and Mr. Riggs, and show us some blessings and give some donations to them so they can continue to bring about the great broadcasting that they do from the UK. Because we got our brothers from the UK, we got our brothers in the Sudan. This is a great global mobilization. So all you have to do is just donate. Donate $5. If everybody donates $1 right now, will be sufficient. If not, those that can afford it, come forward. So, but here's the information. It's a frequency. We just gave you a frequency. We just triangulated you. Everything is a triangulation. It's the sacred math, the divine science, and the cultural, cosmic, collective conscious spirituality. And we triangulate it. And then we place it into, and then we send forth the divine resonance. And this is the frequency. So how does this work? This isn't spookism. This is sacred science. This is divine math. So you got to remember, how do we know that this is really the New Year's? The white man or the European tells you that January 31st is New Year's Eve and January 1st is New Year's. Why isn't that New Year's? That's because you've been Hellenized and lobotomized. You suffer from the paralysis of analysis. You have to begin to release yourself over again. So now this is what we do. We deal with it scientifically because this isn't spookism. Okay, this is where the facts matter. We have to show you receipts, like Crump TV says. We got the Queen Mother Goddess from the Memoirs of KEMETIC Dynasty. She tell you she wants to see some receipts. Our receipts is the sacred science. The sacred science. The Earth has 3 motions. It rotates on its axis. It rotates 24 hours and 35 minutes. Movement number 1. Movement number 2, it revolves around the sun. And movement number 3 is tilted 23.5 degrees from vertical, which makes the Earth wobble. And one complete wobble is 26,000 years, which is called a great year, and which connects us to the phenomenon of precession. This is what makes it our story now. We're connected to the phenomenon of precession. Earth has 3 dimensions: daily time, yearly time, and great year time. So now we're combining the science with the math, and now you have to add your cultural, cosmic, collective conscious spirituality. So what we did was, on the 360th day, was on July the 20th, July the 18th on the Gregorian calendar. So I superimposed the Gregorian calendar right on top of the Vasarian solar Sibyl lunar calendar, because there's nothing but a plagiarized version of our African calendar. They just use our own knowledge against us. So now we're taking the knowledge back. So now on the 360th day is on July 18th. So here we go, the 19th, the 20th, the 20th, 21st, 24th, 22nd, 23rd. It's 5 days. But today, that we just passed today, because it's been pet right now. The star already rose. We got the Seba in the Sudan right there. We got on the broadcast. It was already, he says the star rose at 3 o'clock. The sun rose at 3 o'clock in the morning over there. He said he saw the star. Our brother Seba, Sudan. So next year, this is Ramutev's Queb right now, showing you exact graphics of real time. And that's how it looked when he looked in the morning. Ramutep is running back his computer right now to show everybody how it looked. So this is an indication when you see the sun and the star, something, our binary star, rise in unison with the sun, it means that the earth has made one complete revolution of the sun, which means it's a year. It's a year. A year has passed. Okay. Now, when your cultural spirituality, how do we relate it? How do we stay with our spirituality? It means that that's 360 days has passed mathematically. So scientifically, we know that the earth made one complete revolution of the sun, and mathematically, we know that this 360 days has passed. So now, for the next 5 days, this is what the Romans and the Greeks couldn't figure out. For the next 5 days, they're not even on the calendar. They don't exist in time. These are the days that we honor the first ancestors, because the firstborn of Nut and begotten of Seb is Helical. So we celebrate his birthday on the 19th. And then on the 20th, we celebrate the birthday of Asa. And then on the 21st, we celebrate the birthday of Set. And on the 23rd, we celebrate the birthday of, on the 22nd, we celebrate the birthday of Aster, we just performed the Hesi for. And day number 23, we celebrate the birthday of Nebhet. Now, Nebhet's birthday is supposed to land on the 24th, but because this year on the Gregorian calendar, there was a leap year. If you go back and look on the Gregorian calendar for February 28th, it goes to February 29th. So I had to adjust it and add the birthday of Helical last night. So now on the 24th, we celebrate the birthday of Helical, which we won't celebrate next year, because I had to make it equate to how I superimpose the Gregorian calendar on top of it. Usually our calendar is perennial, meaning it's fixed, meaning the star that rises at your birthday is going to rise again next year. But because theirs is a perennial, meaning it moves and adjusts forward, we had to compensate with the variant. But we only did it for this year, and you'll see it on your calendar for my students who are watching so that they can see why. And then, so on these days, we celebrate these ants. These are the first ancestors, because originally there's only 360 days in a year, but on the first motion of the earth is 24 hours and 35 minutes. It rotates. So there's an extra 35 minutes in every day. And this 35 minutes is split between the duat and the twat. But it's a perfect calendar. There's only one problem. There's only 6 forms of life on the planet: plant, insects, reptiles, water creatures, birds that fly, and animals. Man and woman does not exist yet. We haven't came yet, because the Netarus weren't born, the earth Netarus, and the Jehuti. Because Nut and Seb, the earth and the sky, in our cultural, cosmic, collective, cultural spirituality, because it has to have spirituality in order for us to feel alive, to understand the quiet ability to experience the phenomenon of being. So Nut and Seb, in our vision, our visual contents of life and pondable matter, the only thing that separates the sky from the earth is light. Because in the daytime, you see the sky. And at nighttime, you see stars. Where did the sky go? You ever ask yourself a question, where did the sky go? Where did the sky go? The sky is laying on the earth. And when the sun rises, the sky comes up, the sky becomes the arch of the firmament. So now the sun sets and the sky comes down to the earth. So this is the earth and the sky, which is Nut and Seb and Meduneta, and in our cultural, cosmic, collective, spirituality. They're making love, but they can't produce no children because Ra said time is already allotted for. Enter calendar number 2, the Jehuti calendar. Jehuti wagered with Ra for the allotment of time. He wanted that 35 minutes. So Ra said that, listen, I need somebody to wager. I need somebody to name all the forms of life which I allowed to evolve so that his works would have meaning. And Jehuti said, well, if I win, I want that 35 minutes. This is part of our cultural, cosmic, collective, spirituality. And this is all, if you could research this, and they decipher this in the Meduneta. So this isn't spookism. They call it a myth, a lie, some type of fable. This is myth. This is us. This is our story. And then you could applicate it just to ponderable matter, because you'll see the light in the sky, and you see the function of existence. So now, Jehuti wagered with Ra, and Jehuti won the wager. So he took the 35 minutes that was left over after every day. He multiplied it 360 times. He came up with 5 extra days. These are the days that the earth netches were born. That's why we're here. So when we wait for the 4 days, the 5 days to pass, And then on the 5th day of Nebhet's birthday, the next day, as Brother AMRU has showed us, the star and the sun rises, and we celebrate the annual orbiting of Sirius and Spdt, which means that the Earth has made one complete revolution of the sun, which is the yearly time span, which means it's New Year's. This is how we knew it was New Year's. Now, how we knew through our ancient architectural megalithic monuments, such as the Merku or the pyramid, the Great Pyramid of Giza has star shafts. They're not air shafts, they're star shafts. And these star shafts, the southern star shaft points to the Pleiades, to Orion, and to Spdt, because it's monitoring the Earth on an annual orbit. And the star shaft to the north points to the circumpolar stars, or the never setting stars, which we call Tawawurt. And these stars indicate where our sun is located on the galactic elliptic plane of our quadrant of the Milky Way galaxy. All it means is that where we're located in the sign of the phenomenon of precession, or the 12 signs of the zodiac. So the first helical rising is on March 21st on the fraudulent Gregorian calendar. And on March 21st, which is spring, when day and night are equal, you look to the east in the morning, and you look up 23.5 degrees from the horizon, from horizontal, and you see whatever constellations in the sky is what age we're in. So right now, the constellation of Pisces fell below the horizon. It's no longer going to be visible for 24,000 years. And the next constellation we see coming down the ecliptic line is Aquarius, which is called Ma'at Hapi Asa. So we have just dawned upon the great golden age of Ma'at Hapi Asa. Now, I'm saying, and we're saying, that this is year number 10. We're rewriting the story of measuring time. We're no longer using that Gregorian chronological timeline. You have to adjust. You have to adapt. You have to alter, change, and arrange, then rearrange so that you can connect yourself to the proper frequency. So that you don't need me to tell you what time it is. I'm showing you the indicators. I'm showing you the geodites so that you can see it with your own eyes, so that you can know for your own self. You don't need me. I'm just helping you to remember. Everything I've told you right now, you already knew. You just didn't remember. So this is how we're going to understand. So how do we know it's year number 10? So we know that on 2012, on December 21st, the sun passed through the center of the Milky Way galaxy. And when it passed through the center of the Milky Way galaxy, on March 21st, the constellation of Pisces fell below the horizon. So the Mayans and the Dogons, they knew, and everybody said it would be the end of the world. It wasn't the end. It's the end of one cycle and the beginning of another. Life is continuous, perpetual evolution. So when we look and we see that the star constellation of Pisces had fell below the horizon, we're no longer in the great golden age of Pisces or Uncle Set. We've entered in the age of Aquarius. You heard the song. Don't act like you don't know. And that Aquarius in Medunetta is called Ma'at Hapi Asa. And so now we go back to 2012. 2012 is year number 1. 2013 is year number 2. 2014 is year number 3. 2015 is year number 4. 2016 is year number 5. 2016 is year number 6. 2017 is year number 7, number 8, and there's 9. And then 2020 is year number 9. And then we run 6 months ahead of it to July 25th on the Gregorian calendar when the star rises, which makes it year number 10. So this is how we know we're in year number 10. We're rewriting the storybooks. This is our story. We are no longer confined to that 5,000 year compartmental, that our history. We don't have a history. We have our story. They have history. History is the Greeks and the Romans. It means you've been Hellenized and lobotomized. It means you're suffering from the paralysis of the analysis. So in order to understand our story, you have to be able to break this down scientifically, mathematically, and with our cultural, cosmic, collective conscious spirituality. And this means that now, I just want to lay the line here before we let the Queen Mother take over, because I just want everybody to know this is the Renpet, this is the Renpet, the Neferu Renpet, the Happy New Year's. I need you to understand why we know that this is the new year, not January 1st. You have to understand this. You have to be able to teach your children this, because on the Gregorian calendar, when you're born on the Gregorian calendar on January 1st, say January 1st, 2020 is on a Monday, 2021 is on a Tuesday, 2022 is on a Wednesday, and 2023 is on a Thursday, and then 2024, it was a leap year, so it jumps to Saturday. So this means that after 7 years, the star that was in the sky at your birth is no longer there. They stole your star at your birth, and you didn't even know it. Do you understand, my people? Like, what is the Queen Mother Goddess Frances Cress Wilson would say? Are you with me, my people? I loved it when the Queen Mother would say, are you with me? Do you understand what I'm saying? They stealing everything from you. You think that today, you think that this is December? You think December is the 12th month? Dice and 10 is 10, and the Latin root word for 10 is dice. So why is it our 12th month? The Latin root word for 9 is nove, but it's our 11th month. The Latin root word for 8 is octo, but it's our 10th month. You never asked yourself why we're living in a fraudulent Gregorian calendar of October in the 10th month, and it's in octo in etymology, in linguistic terms, in languages, means 8. Mathematically, it means 8. How can they say it's 10? How can you even believe that story? You have to start asking yourself questions, and this is why we're here to show you. And our brother Ramutep Queb, the head Siba of the Tesha Para in astrology and astronomy, he does the birthing charts, he does the natal charts, he does a digital graphic, virtual reality rendition, and shows you where your star is at your birth. And the star of your birthing is the star of your demise or your transition. It's there at your birth. It's already positioned. So he connects you. He tethers you back to the cosmic fabric. Okay? And that's what Ramutef Queb does. But we're going to let the Queen Mother Goddess now back to Richie. Don't forget, put your subscription in. I haven't seen no more donations come up. Come on, somebody. Somebody put a donation over here. Send the Black Ice TV 7 and Brother Riggs and Richie. We want to see them. That donation thing jump up here. Come on, family. Work with us now. And right now, I want to send it back to Black Ice TV, Richie.
Can I?
Siba. Yes, Siba. AMRU.
Speak.
Yeah.
Speak, brother. We always want to hear from.
Can I say something?
Speak,
yeah,
brother.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I want to ask you. So the years, the calendar. This day, Saturday. It's Saturday. So every year, the Peretz Pedet happen on Saturday.
No.
Or
so
it might be happening another day.
Right. You said Saturday. So Saturday means that you're referring to the Gregorian chronological timeline.
Yeah.
So that's perpetual. That means next year it'll be Sunday. That means after Sunday, next year it'll be Monday on that Gregorian chronological timeline. That means it's perpetual.
Okay.
It's perpetual. Our calendar, our Ipiteru, our Spdt-Sirius is perennial. Perennial means is another Greek word. All we know is Latin and Greek. And perennial means fixed. It means it's stationary. That means the star that was in the sky at your birth, when the sun comes back, or when the earth comes back around the sun, that same star is going to be there. That's our story. That is the Ipiteru. That is the Ipiteru. That is the Spdt-Sirius Pamaat, the ancient Masarian Kemetic solar system.
Okay.
Yes. Another question, Siba. Hit me, Siba.
Okay. I was reading about the calendar changing. Did it happen in the time of Ptolemy the third or the fourth, maybe? The time of the changing of the calendar.
That's called the changing of the calendar. Is called
calendar.
It's called calendar reform. First calendar reform is 754 AUC. Everybody Google it. Ab urbe cotita. It means in Latin upon the founding of the city of Rome. Second calendar reform is Ptolemy the First. It's called the Decree of Canopus, 1 is Ptolemy the First. Decree of Canopus 2 is Ptolemy the Third, and Decree of Canopus 3 is Ptolemy the Fifth, Philadelphia or Ergus. But the Decree of Canopus number 3 is known because that's the one that has the Rosetta Stone, comes from the Decree of Canopus number 3, okay, which is Ptolemy the First. 4th, that means that's 4 calendar reforms. And now you have calendar reform number 5, which is the Gregorian, which is the Roman, which is the Julian calendar, which they call the Greco-Roman calendar. And then you got Augustus Caesar, because that's where July and August comes from. And the next calendar reform, they can reform the calendar again, and that's in 325 AD, which is the Council of Nicaea, with Jesus, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. And at the end of it all, you see a footnote. Oh yeah, we changed the new year to March 21st. We're going to figure this all out. And the next calendar reform is 1,200 years later in 1585, which is the Gregorian calendar. So now, why do they have to keep making calendar reforms? That's what you should be asking yourself. The reason why they reform the calendar is because, listen everybody, the reason why they reform the calendar is because every 130 days on a lunar cycle calendar, any calendar, whether it's Egyptian, that phony Kemetic Egyptian calendar that they got 30 days, 3 weeks, any calendar that has 30 days in a month, the Ethiopian calendar, the Islamic calendar, every calendar on this planet has 30-day month, just like the Gregorian calendar, because it's an agricultural calendar. They only want to feed you. It's only to feed you. Because it doesn't have a solar and a sidereal aspect, then you cannot connect to the cosmic environment. You cannot connect to the 26,000-year cycle. You cannot connect to the phenomenon of possession. So check this out. Every 130 years, one unearned day is added to the calendar. So you're not going to see it in your lifetime. Neither is your child or the next descendant. But on the 400th year, the sun drifts from the spring equinox, meaning that you plant the seed during the spring equinox when the sun lines up on the March 21st on the Gregorian calendar, or when day and night is equal. This is how you eliminate the Gregorian calendar. When day and night is equal, it's called the equinox. You got a spring equinox and autumnal equinox. So we eliminate the Gregorian calendar, okay? So we know to plant the seed then. So they was planting the seed on the spring equinox, but they was 2 weeks late. So now the crops don't grow. So they're so busy gorging themselves on making us the slaves, on gorging out, raping our women and killing our children and sucking the resources out the ground. And they're living like they got palaces. They're living on our sweat and blood. Now generations, and everybody's forgetting about the 130 days, 100 days added to the calendar, because they're so enriched and sucking the energy and the life source out of the African people. Now, guess what? When the sun drifts and the next year you go to eat, there's no food. This is what made them stop. There's no food. So what they said was, oh, something's wrong. Yeah, something's wrong. You're using that lunar cycle calendar, and in the spring equinox, the sun drifts. So now they have to do a calendar reform. But they keep implementing the 30-day calendar because they don't want you to know. So once an African person knows about sidereal time, solar, sidereal, and lunar, so they got us understanding only lunar cycle calendar. And this is why we're in the position we are now. We can't think for ourselves. We don't know. It's always ambiguous. It's always doubt. It might be this, it might be that. Isn't that? It's right before your eyes. You just have to apply it mathematically, scientifically, and with our cultural, cosmic, collective, conscious spirituality. Siba, did you give me another one, Siba? Give me something from the Sudan, another one, Siba, so everybody understands.
Yeah. Okay. So So we're getting out of the lunar calendar, which is the darkness, the religion, and we're going to the solar calendar. That sums it up.
Which is 9 days.
I want to ask you about the days.
Yes.
Yeah, is it 9 or 10? Some say 10.
Right.
Some say 10 days.
Yes.
The Kemetic.
Yes, the Kemetic people say it's 10 days in a
The
week.
Kemetic days.
But if it's 10 days in a week, that means it's 3 weeks in a month. And 3
Yeah.
weeks in a month, 10 days a week is 30 days. So they just sold you a lunar cycle calendar. They just sold you the same thing that your slave master sold you. They just sold you the same thing that the Gregorian calendar sold you. Okay? So that tells you that the Kemetic committee is
So it's not 10.
It's not 10. It is 10. But it's basically it's 9.
It's not 10.
It's solar, sidereal,
9 days.
and lunar. So originally, before the Romans and the Greeks, there were 9 days in every week, and time was kept by charting stars that were visible on our calendar, aware of the movement of Earth, stars, and moon. These ancient African indigenous primordial ancestors were cosmically attuned. It's a poem that lets you know originally it's 9 days. So here's the equation mathematically. There is a mother equation. The mother equation is 8,766. That's the time. That's a sidereal year. It takes the star Spdt to break the plane of the horizon, traverse the elliptic plane, and return back to its original position in respect to the fixed stars. Just Google it. They're going to tell you the same thing I just said. That's called a sidereal year. It's 8,766 hours. Now, there's 9 days in a week. There's 4 weeks in a month. There's 36 days in every month. There's not 30 days. You on a 30-day calendar, you can have 7 days in a week, you can have 8 days in a week, and you can have 10 days in a week. But on a 9-day calendar, you got to have 36 days. There's 36 deacons in the sky. Okay, so now the mathematical equation now means that now you got to applicate that mathematical equation scientifically, because we know there's 3 motions of the earth. The earth rotates on its axis. So on this calendar, there is 24 hours and an extra 35 minutes. Nobody keeps account of the extra 35 minutes, right? That means there's 9 days in a week. Now we have calendar number 2, 365 and a quarter days. How do we now? That's because Jehuti won the extra 35 minutes. He multiplied it 360 times. He came up with 5 extra days. Now the earth rotates 20. The first motion of the earth is 24 hours in every day, just like today. Today, every day is 24 hours, right? What happened to the 35 minutes? Because now we got 7 forms of life on the planet. Okay, so he's giving you a visual context of what's going on right now, so that everybody can see how this the astrological and astronomical aspects applicated. So he's asking the brother in the Sudan, our great Seba AMRU, is asking the proper questions for me to elaborate on right now, so that you can understand the mathematical equation. And I still ain't seen one donation come up yet. All that information you just got, family, and you got there we go. There we go. The memoirs. Yes. We're gonna let Ramutef Queb, who shall align you back to the star of your breath. Let the great Seba Ramutef Queb speak now. Dua Seba.
Peace. At the pool, upon the top, upon my eye. So what I'm showing you is what the Seba was asked. Well, what the Seba was getting to when he's talking about a sidereal year, right? Is when the star Sirius itself, as you can see, oh snap. Let me check. There we go. Returns to its fixed position among the stars, right? In Medu Nature, the symbol for Spdt-Sirius is this, what you see here. What I want to point out to you is the description of how I find how to look at the helical. You have the star, you have a spike in a sense, or a set. Then you have the T, which is like a hill, or primordial hill, as I understand it cosmically. When you look at it, thanks to our so-called modern day technology, you should be able to see what the ancestors left for you. You have the star, right? Then, if you look on how it's formatted, you have that triangle, as you can see. above the hill, as you can see. I'm gonna throw it back to you. This
okay,
is how,
leave it right there. Leave it right there. Okay, there's the medulla for something. Yes,
so
yes, right.
visually,
Beautiful. Heck
look,
yeah. That is the sign something.
go ahead.
You got it, Ramutel?
No, go ahead, Sibo.
Okay, let me break down the medulla now. Okay, we're going to break down the medulla now because you got to have your sacred science, your divine math, and your cultural cosmic spirituality. But you still got to speak. You still got to learn to read, write, speak, and teach medulla because this is our language. And if you don't pronounce the medulla and interpret the medulla correctly, then you lose the frequency. You lose the resonance. You lose the sound. And it's the sound that reverberates, which makes you connect to these cosmic forces, which reverberates to the black hole, all the way back into the cosmic gate, all the way back into the origins of existence. So this is why it's called Medu. Medu means words, Netu means cosmic forces, or some say gods and goddesses, or nature, or the letters. Okay, so now,
Elder, you're breaking up. Elder, you're breaking up. Breaking up. I don't know what's wrong. Check the sound. Say something again.
Breaking up.
Yeah, you back now. You back. That's all.
Okay, show us the medulla symbol for Sirius, except Spdt. Okay, it's Spdt because on the left-hand side, that is a spike. That spike is a frequency. And he just showed you the frequency as it's depicted within the stars as they saw it. So this spike produces telluric forces, or what they call conductivity discontinuity. Okay, and this means that at this particular time, because the star and the sun, our sun and the star it does a dance. Our sun Ra and Spdt or Sirius Spdt is our binary star. It does a dance, and at this time, this is how so every 1,461 years is a true helical rising, meaning the sun and the star breaks the plane at the same time. Okay, today Spdt rose first, and Ra came up behind it. Okay, it's still a helical rising, but it's not a true helical rising, just like a total eclipse. If the sun doesn't pass in front of the moon and blocks the moon out completely, that's called a total eclipse. But sometimes the sun doesn't block it out completely. It's called a preamble, right? Or a partial eclipse. Okay, so you got to be able to differentiate when you're understanding these astrological and astronomical terms. So, anyways, this telluric forces, when you see it, it's permeating across the planet because the sun lines up with Spdt, Spdt lines up with the earth, lines up with the moon lines up with the sun lines up with Spdt, and Spdt's lining up with Alcyone, with Orion, and Orion's lining up with Alcyone, and it's lining up with the center of the Milky Way galaxy. It's producing telluric forces, which are ley lines, and they permeate across the planet. That's why we have these ancient architectural megalithic monuments, because they capture this energy source. So right now, where our brother in the Sudan is, the energy inside the pyramids, they're vibrating right now. Everything's vibrating now. The energy is there. We just have to learn how to tap in it. And the way we tap in it is mathematically, scientifically, with our cultural spirituality, and understanding the astrology and the
I'm sorry.
Can you hear me? Having absolute accountability and style validation. So what I want to do is I want to turn the mic over to our great divine Siba from Colorado, Kepra Patah, so that he can speak to you about this star and the phenomenon precession and the frequency in which these stars produce and how it reverberates to your spirituality. So Siba, I'm gonna bow down and fall back and let you explain to the Ramech. And don't forget to put that donation, everybody. Keep it rolling. Let's go. Keep the top. We'll get the floor to Siba from Colorado.
All right, you say Colorado, Siba? I'm over here in Seattle in less there's two Kepra Patas.
So Seattle.
Okay, I mean, you never know. I might have a doppelganger somewhere out there. That's cool, as
Seba.
KEMETIC brothers, we have the ability to biolocate sometimes. Dua Siba.
Okay.
So
Seba, dua. Can anyone hear me?
Dua.
Yes,
I hear
yeah,
you.
we hear you. We hear you.
I can hear you,
Yeah.
Elder.
Heru
I'm
Hari Amen.
yeah. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to leave because I got other schedule. So peace.
Peace.
We
This
appreciate you.
was a great gathering.
Hatapu.
I really appreciate it. Yeah.
We appreciate your presence. We
Uncle
appreciate your
Jasanep.
presence.
Uncle
Siba.
Dua
Uncle Jasanep.
Every time. I will call you and we will speak more later or something, okay? Thank you for joining us.
Dua.
Yeah, big up to the brother.
Big up to us.
People need to understand how long me and Patar have been trying to do that link up. Yeah. So trust me, I'm so happy that we got the brother on. We're going to ask questions, we're going to speak, and we've got the African link up. So please don't take it lightly. That was a big thing for us. We're really happy about that. Trust me. You understand. Peace and blessings. But yeah, continue with the knowledge. If you like the knowledge, you know the play. Hit that like button, donate to the channel. Continue, brothers. I don't even want to break the build because I'm loving the energy right now and the information. Continue, Capra.
Nefer Uncle Chastaneb, give thanks and praise for being on this platform once again. I cannot say thank you enough. Dua-u. Now we were talking about the first frequency, and as the seventh form of life, we strive to attune ourselves with the first frequency, Ra Nebutesh Ra. And just like Uben Septet, we're here to raise our consciousness in our serpentine fire. And just like Uben Septet, we're continuously rising each and every day, like Haru or like Mount Happy Asar. So we have the Ra within our being, who rose from out of noon as a string and a strand, and declared his name a word of power. So just like Ra, we are the self whose Ba is Neter, according to the Pernim Heruim Ger, also known as the chapters of coming forth by day from night. And may we ascend to the highest regions, as it says in the pyramid text, also known as the text of Winness, of the pyramid text, and so forth. So we generate a new reality, 8,766 hours per year, all 10 months of 36 days. We strive to be the first frequency 9 days of a week, not just 7, but 9 days, like the Pau Neter. So your consciousness is meditating on consciousness itself. You and all things are part of the universe, the one song. So even the Greeks, like Herodotus, spoke of how the ancient priests are the hymneters of ancient Kemet and their knowledge of the sacred vows. And these same priests would tone these sacred vows while performing their sacred ceremonies. So this is the origin of what we call prayers, the origin of Hekau and sacred hymns, aka Hesi, to the Neteru, and which we now call deities, or they have also called gods. And Kemet, the sound of a thing, is vital to its existence. So just like Siba was saying earlier, it is important that we check the Medu Neter, we speak the Medu Neter, because we want to raise the frequency and connect with that ancient frequency if we're trying to get back in alignment. And Kemet, the sound of a thing, is vital to its very existence, because everything has a Ren, which means name in Aredi Kemet, or that is the language of the ancestors, which is spoken language called the Medu Neter in the written script of the priesthood. So when we look at this word Ren, Siva points out that spell it backwards, you get the word Ner, which is energy. So with simple observation of this English language in which we have been speaking due to injured humanity, we also see that there are vowels and consonants. And we see that some of the words we use today have the same consonants as ancient words with similar meanings. Examples are, we use the word hut, that's connected to the ancient Kemetic word het, meaning a house. Sin-ur, meaning greater or older brother, as senor and senior. Neter, or nature. Para, meaning the house of Ra, or pyramid, meaning fire in the middle, and so on. So in this age of Ma'at Hapi Asar, we see that it deals with the air element. And your voice is generated by your lungs and trachea. It is made to resemble the lute in the Meduneter. And we utter these sounds and we create a harmony. So we utter sounds, these sounds travel through the air. And we know that sound travels through the air 1,100 feet per second. And they called it the sacred breath. So in the age of so-called Aquarius, according to the Gregorian calendar, we see a man carrying a jug of water. Ma'at Hapi Asar is also known as Sa. It can mean essence, and it can also mean incorruptible. So we have return to a great awakening via the 26,000-year procession. And we'll benefit when we breathe correctly, eat correctly, drink more water, and also to speak into the water. So when we get the water, we speak our intentions into the water because we want to put our prayers, our hesiu, our hekau, tir nature, into the water and then drink it, because everything the ancient ones did was connected to a divine intent. This is why it's important to know what time it is so that you can align with a divine intent and not do things haphazardly, and we can restore ma'at into our lives. So once again, we speak into the water. We call out utterances of command based on the things that we do in life. When we wake up in the morning, we acknowledge the floor we step upon, the ceilings that's above us. And you will see that the ancient ones did this just by studying the ancient texts. The food we're eating, as the air we breathe, we are still bringing in life. We're bringing in that energy that is coming from the sun and from the stars. So we got Kepra and my Baba Hedikafra, who had Kepra the Netaru, that is, become each netter by reciting a Hesi, in which I will show you and remind you of later on. He did what was called Tai Chi and Qigong in forms of what they are called yoga to this day. Haru Ankara Samaj talk about Eriyanka, meaning divine movements in breath, making the spirit to come alive when you move in alignment with the universe. And he would have people look on the pyramid walls and actually study, or that is the temple walls, and study the movements of the ancestors. Look at how they stood, look at how they posed and everything else, so that we can take on that resonance. And not only does this practice bounce the hemispheres of the brain, it also awakens one's sensitivity to energy fields generated from the body and the environment around them. So you learn how to breathe. We drink more water in this particular age. We want to be around water because it aids in digestion. And if your digestion is off, you're going to be tired. You're going to be foggy-headed. And this is why the treatment of those 4 vital organs was so important to the ancient ancestors. These organs, and if you look at the word organ, we also see how it corresponds with an instrument called an organ that makes music and so forth, because each organ is an embodiment of divine harmony, music. So these organs were placed in canopic jars, and they were so important that each of these 4 organs were seen as an embodiment of one of the Shimzu or Mesu Heru. They were the followers of Heru, also known as the children of Heru. Each were guarded by a sacred mother Netert. The lungs are sacred to Hapi, the baboon. He is guarded by Neith. The liver was sacred to Mesta, the human, who is guarded by Ast, or Aset. The stomach is sacred to Dwamutef, the jackal, who is guarded by Nebetet, the lady of the house. And the small intestine is sacred to Quebsanuf, the hawk, who is guarded by Serket. So you can invoke these deities with the sound vibration and you want to put that primordial sound in it. You see? Because the ancestors also spoke with clicks, because they were vibrating their various bones in the skull and everything else. Because if you learn how to speak and use Meta in a certain way, you will discover that your whole body feels a certain resonance. So you can invoke these deities every day. The triple Hesi formula is prescribed by Helical, and I like to share that with those who are not familiar with it in his honor. We also see that the four directions are connected with the four elements and the four forces as Atum, the electromagnetism, Ptah, the strong force, Kepra, the weak force, and Amen, which is gravity. And we see that the age of Madhapi Asar, which is now upon us, we dealt with things in stages and formulas as we do today, and we will do after this 26,000-year procession. So when we look at Mahat, we see her kneeling, yet she has wings. She brings justice and balance because she is grounded in truth. And as Siba pointed out, every 130 days, we would gain a day via leap year, and we slide out of alignment when we're dealing with the Gregorian calendar, which is also based on a lunar calendar and a civic calendar, which is only meant to grow our crops, which actually falls in alignment to the point that you can't grow your crops anymore. That's why it's important to have that star validation, because you can always realign with the correct time and date and not fall behind. And so this has also affected us subconsciously. We have lost recall, and we no longer call out the names and vibrations proper to the relevant time. And therefore, we send out the wrong signals and contribute to the confusion that was brought to us via injured humanity. So by having a fixed calendar, we obtain a stable backbone, aka a jet pillar. Every language uses vowels and consonants. When it comes to speech, not necessarily in a written script, but an example, when you look at other languages that exist today, that they use in like a code, like Hebrew and so forth, they have a numerical value and so forth. The ancient Cometian language, it dealt with the force of nature, because everything around you is actually meta. Everything around you means something. Everything is placed in a specific order for a specific reason. Every time you place something in your house, you're literally spelling a word. And when you place something in your house correctly, what you're doing is that you're sending out a signal to the universe itself. So this is why there is so much speculation and debate around how the words of the ancient language sounded, because a lot of people are trying to use a left brain approach to everything. They're not connecting the two hemispheres of the brain, and they're not able to feel that connection with the universe. So we take note of the ruins of the ancient civilizations in which we see testimonies of such creative knowledge that have stood the test of time. We also notice that the stories all match up. And in fact, you will notice similarities to the construction of pyramid structures, like both the complexes of Giza and Teotihuacan in Mexico, where there are three pyramids that happen to reflect the three stars of the belt of Madhapi Asar. Not only that, in Mexico, their ancient calendar goes back to 0 on the 25th day of July, and they call that the day of no time. So that's a day away from our practice of now. So it lines up. It lines up worldwide. The ancient ones had a worldwide system, and that's what we speak on the universal Naga priesthood of back then, which has now been reborn in this day. So these societies built these monolithic temples and monuments, and they all share a common story, and that creation is held together with light and sound. The ancients also spoke about the ability to transform your environment, your inner self, as well as the outcome of an event through the chanting of words of power, the Helical, so-called mantras nowadays. And just like there are 36 days in a month, we want to awaken the 360 degrees of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. However, we are born with those other 5 days through the process and concept of self-creation. So I'm going to talk about the sound vibrations that are very important for us today, because we're trying to awaken a consciousness within ourselves. We're but we're striving to remember. That is, bring the members that have been separated back into wholeness. So we look at the word Amma, Om, and so forth. We're not talking about worshiping Amun Ra like back in the age of so-called Aries, or the age of the Ram, the age of Amun Ra. But we're talking about remembering, because these same sounds are used in various traditions to this day. where they would meditate with these very sounds. A lot of people don't even understand the true reason why they say Om and chant those sounds all day and all night. A lot of people don't understand what that is for. They don't understand that what you're doing is that you're generating an energetic field around you that's making your auric field stronger. So the word Om and Ama are variations of Amun. These are sounds representing the sun as well as the great mother, because it's also Ama. In the Dogon, they say Ama, which is similar to Amun. So vibrating these particular sounds, you'll be able to fill the holes in the aura, your auric field, when you continue to use this Heka. It will cause the auric field to expand outward to the point that you can walk into a building with people sitting down and they will feel your presence and turn around and look at you. So you do this long enough, and you'll go into the mental part of you, the hidden land, and experience the first time, the Zet Tepi, in which we must release ourselves and see God ourselves to experience the phenomena of being, the aspects of us that is immortal, is permanent, just like the star, which is why we want to align ourselves with the star through star validation, meaning it cannot be conditioned. When you are connected with that which is permanent, that means you are no longer subject to the conditions of injured humanity. So we must understand that our universe and its properties consist of solids, liquids, and gases, and all that is light slowed down and shaped by sound. The light sound can be measured by distance in order to for the sound to travel there. It needs to have a medium, such as air or water. Sound cannot travel in a vacuum. It must travel through something. So sound is produced via vibration. So when these vibrations hit the eardrum, for instance, the vibration goes into the middle ear, which contains tiny bones called ossicles. And through these vibrations, they enter into the inner ear, which is shaped like a snail. Okay, and they're full of these tiny hairs that send a signal to the brain, which translate the sounds. And these sounds affect how you feel and how you think. So we can change our personality via sound. Hence, persona, meaning mask, which breaks down to mean through sound. For those who are familiar with African ceremonies, where there are spiritual forces, like, for instance, for those who may be familiar with Yoruba or Vodun, they talk about the orishas coming down and so forth. You will notice that it is done not only with the singing and dancing, but also with the sounds and tones of the drum. The constant playing of the drum put the individuals who were the most receptive into a trance, where this person will go through what they consider a possession, which basically they have attuned to a different frequency, and which are said to be mounted by this force, this Orisha, this Loa, and so forth. So sounds and the vibrations that produce it, they send out signals into the universe. We're constantly picking up these signals, and we're constantly sending them out through the things we say and the things that we do. These sounds are being influenced, or we're being influenced by these various sounds. In fact, once again, I mentioned before that we pick up on things that we cannot hear consciously, but we still pick up on the signals coming from arguments you may hear down the street, or classical music played on the radio down the street, or the rap music that's played up the street, and so forth. We're constantly picking up on these sounds. We're constantly picking up on this information, and it pulls us in different directions. So when you sit down, breathe, meditate, you can attune yourself, and you can have that backbone that will give you the stability to basically be, because we want to experience the phenomena of being. So when Ra came into existence, a sound was produced in the form of waves. These waves and vibrations have been shaping our universe ever since. The sound Ra is the sound of the solar plexus. Ra is the light and heat necessary for light to exist. So when we breathe, heat is produced due to the friction in our bodies. Life is produced because movement generates friction. So we are the living image of the universe, just as it breathes in and breathes out. So we do the same. So even the breath has to do with timing. So I'm going to get into this triple Hesi formula that I mentioned earlier, and I mentioned before. Baba Helical taught this formula to his students, and I have proudly received this formula. Anesharak, Amin Ra, Nutatinat Amin Ra, Anuk Amin Ra. Anesharak Amin Ra means to show me your face. Amin Ra.
Why are you going to start?
Can you hear me? What's that now?
I can't hear you. Can you guys still hear him?
Okay,
Yes.
sound like
Oh,
Yeah, hear me?
there you go. The sound's come back. It was just for me. Sorry. Continue, brother.
okay, no problem. They have Nechorakamanra, Nutitiramanra, Nukamanra. This is the triple Hesi of Amun-Ra, and it activates the awareness and the power of the will, along with this Hesi. We can also greet his family like Mut and Kansu, and the same formula is utilized for the various other forces that I spoke of earlier. So therefore, the divine masculine, the sacred feminine, the holy child, they're all acknowledged. And you will use this divine triangulation in a way to awaken the cosmic forces within yourself, around you, and in your environment, both negative and neutral. So when you look at his family of Amun-Ra, there's also Mut. You have to pay homage to the wife because you also got to pay homage to the sacred feminine. Another name for Mut or Mut is Aminet. So we say Necharak Mut. Show me your face, Mut, Nutirit Mut, Anuk Mut. So the way this would sound, you say Necharakamra, Nutitiramanra, Nukamanra. Necharakamra, Nutitiramanra, Nukamanra. Necharakamra, Nutitiramanra, Nukamanra. And you can get like a system and shake it. Necharakamra, Nutitiramanra, Nukamanra. Necharakamra, Nutitiramanra, Nukamanra. And Necharakamara, Nutitiramanra, Anukamara. Then you switch the Mut. Necharak, Mut, Nutitit, Mut, Anuk, Mut. Necharak, Mut, Nutitit, Mut, Anuk, Mut. And then you hit up the sun. Necharak Kanzu, Nutitit Kanzu, Anuk Kanzu. Necharak Kanzu, Nutitit Kanzu, Anuk Kanzu. And what you're doing is that you're paying homage to the solar and lunar principle because you want to awaken the left brain, right brain hemisphere as you go throughout the day and practice throughout your life. So we look at these other Heses in which we're going to talk about as well. Another good sound to tone with the triple Hesi formula is the name Shu. The name Shu is also good in eliminating illness. In Chinese medicine, this same sound is sacred to the liver and the gallbladder, and it's good to get anger out of your liver because this is where anger accumulates in your liver. So you got to bring this out of you. You got to bring it out of the system because it can lead to problems, not just with your liver, but also it can cause all your other organs to degenerate. This includes cancer and so forth. So many times people carry anger in their system. You may notice that these people are accident prone. So Shu is the light that stands upon Seb and holds up Nut. Shu is the light. And we might have noticed that Shu has been borrowed and plagiarized. When people are saying in Jesus' name and Yahshua and so forth, you see that Shu energy because they say that Shu combines the mother, combines your connection with the father. But actually in Kemet, Shu connected the mother and the father, which you stand as the light. So you want to be the light. You want to connect with the light. You want to live and you want to eat the light. You want to have everything in alignment with divine awakening and consciousness. Then we have Ptah, Sekhmet, Nefertum. And the way this goes is Ptah, Sekhmet, Nefertum, Ptah, Sekhmet, Nefertum, Ptah, Sekhmet, Nefertum, Ptah, 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 Sekhmet, Nefertum. So Ptah is the opener, aka the strong force, the shape of the cosmos, and the universal blacksmith. So you go to Ptah if you want to bring things into your life and shape patterns into your life that will take you to the next level. Then you have Sekhmet. She is the cosmic fire and power. Sekhmet means the lady of power. So this network can be both. It can cause and take away sickness. And Nefertum, the perfect and complete one. So it's Ptah, Sekhmet, Nefertum. And so you're invoking the Neteru. You want to speak in Chet Neter because by invoking the Neteru, you're awakening these forces within your being and placing yourself more in alignment with not just the way of your ancestors, but also in way of your destiny. You have Amun Rahum, which I spoke of as connecting you with the financial wealth and abundance. And you want to chant this in the morning. You want to chant this at night. Amun is the hidden, Ra is the light, and Hu, which is found within whom is the authoritative utterance. It is this Heka that opens us up for financial abundance, wealth, and opportunity. But you have to connect and tap into authoritative utterance. Who, right? So we talk about who, so for those who have read the Husia, it talks about divine and authoritative utterances and intelligence to activate that memory, to bring back those pieces of Osar within you so that you can be grounded in truth. So you can take up the wings and fly even though you're grounded. You can ascend yet being grounded in truth. Ankh Ucha Seneb Sa. Ankh Ucha Seneb Sa. Ankh Ucha Seneb Sa. Ankh Ucha Seneb Sa. What is the Sa? Sa is also the sign that's alternative. It's the alternative Ren of Mat Happy Asar. This helps to remove depression, which will find its way in the lungs. In Vedic Kemet, the sound S is good for the lungs. It removes depression that hides in the lungs. The lungs are sacred to happy. So when you breathe correctly and you circulate the oxygen throughout your bloodstream and into your brain, you feel happy. You are now happy. So now you have the purification. This is the day you fast. You say, Hu Ra Nebetesha Ra Hu. 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 You want to chat this Hesi on the day in which you fast from sun up to sundown. This particular Hesi is purifying you. You got that Hu, the authoritative utterance, and you got that Ra. You got that inner fire that is in the solar plexus. You're activating that energy of digestion. A lot of people do not understand that if your digestion is off, then everything else will be off because it's directly connected to your life force. So if we put stuff in our bodies that throw off your digestion, you will notice that you have issues with your sexuality as far as being able to get your equipment to work and everything else. You'll find yourself having a foggy head. You'll find yourself being forgetful. Every time you talk, your voice will crack because your digestion is off and you're not in alignment. Your pillar, your central core is off. Your central fire is off. So for purification, Hu Ra Nebetesha Ra Hu. So I wanted to end with this particular Hesi because I wanted to connect us on a sound vibrational level of how to be one with the first frequency. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to the next Siba who has some words of wisdom and words of power to share. Hatapu, Baba, Elder Siba, Patasika Sanas.
Hete poo. Kepra Patah from Seattle, the Sempenna chair of the White and Gold Lotus Temple, student of Helical, who we dedicated this weapon pet to. Everybody rise, rise for something rising. Everybody rise, rise for something rising. Everyone should know their past. I said everyone should know, but they don't know nothing. They just keep running. You gotta bow your head to Africa. You gotta bend your head down low. She's our mother. You don't get no other. The year is number 10, AFNK/ST. Smatawi. The year is number 10, AFNK/ST. Smatawi. Happy New Year's, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the broadcast here on Black Ice TV, Richie, with Black Ice TV 7 with Brother Richie and Mr. Riggs. We hope you enjoyed it. We're still going strong because we're just on atomic energy now. We're only talking about time. What is time? Time is the movement or measurement of the light through the void of deep dark cold space from one point or distance to another. Its speed, 186,000 miles per second. Light is the absence of darkness, and darkness is the absence of light. Light is the giver of Ankh, life, to all things upon the terrestrial plane within the atomic domain. However, life is the consciousness, awareness of being. Life is the generic expression of the light, and it's only found in three forms exclusively: solids, liquids, and gases. Matter, the elements, the netarus, the gods and goddesses. However, light, the hydrogen atom, atomic energy, the expanding universe, is not the origins of existence of the creation development of the universe. The light Kepler, the outer verse, the hydrogen atom has a mirrored reflection, which is radiation, which is subatomic. So now we begin to understand how to fluctuate our mind, metaphysical comprehension, scientific.
Hold up, Seba. Hold up, Seba. You're breaking up again. 1 second. Because I'm listening to the sound as we're broadcasting just to keep an eye on it. Start speaking again.
Yes, testing, 1, 2, 3. Don't worry, we're moving at light speed. This is a frequency. We back on?
Yeah,
we back? Are we back?
You back. Go in, see.
Okay. So now we're moving through time. Time is atomic energy. Okay, you got to understand that there's light and radiation, there's heat and movement. In order to understand your divine birthright, the divine birthright is immortality. We're here to acquire the ability to experience the phenomenon of being, and that's why we have just got to listen to Asiba Kepapata. We're bringing you different frequencies, but each time one is mathematics, one is science, one is our cultural spirituality. This is primordial temple discipline methodology. You have to be able to triangulate at all times. This is what our story. So we're gonna let Asiba since I thought I could talk. Kepler Patah, he just went another hour. Let's bring the platform over to my Asiba Ramutef Kweb so he can realign you to your star of your birth. Everybody wants to know. I got my star. He read my charts. He gave me my readings. I wanted to know what star was my birth star. I didn't even know. You have to learn all this from Ramutef Kweb. It is Ramutef Kweb who realigns us to our original star of our birth, which has a star of our transition on this planet. Nowadays, we are all Hellenized and lobotomized. That means we are small instruments of higher management, headed expeditiously to a Hellenistic oblivion, never acquiring the ability to experience the phenomenon of being. We never had our first day. We're here, so Ramutef Kweb is going to show us how to have our first day. We've had millions of ancestors who were subjected to the great age of Pisces, which is the great age of Uncle Set, when we became injured humanity, who never had their first day. To have your first day, you have to learn to live it. You know of a diet. We don't have a diet because die is in the word. We have a live it. So to know how to acquire this ability to experience the phenomenon of being, you would first have to know the proper frequency, and maintaining the frequency is the food you eat. The food you eat should be as the air you breathe. In with the good, out with the bad. But when you eat one piece of meat, it takes 7 days for that meat to go from your mouth to your digestive tract out your stool. And you eat meat 3 times a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. This food never leaves your body. This is what breaks. This is why you are all suffering from them European diseases, from the European ailments and sicknesses, because we're eating the improper food. We're not eating through the natures, through nature. Rule number 1 of the live it, of a true Naga, a true Shemsaru, a true Nesubiki, a true Hemet, a true Siba or Sibat, a true Mutnatat, a true immortal one of Ma'at. You would have to know that live it. Rule number 1 live it is eat only of the seed. If it doesn't have a seed, don't put it in your mouth. The only thing you put in your mouth that doesn't have a seed is water. That's rule number 1. There's only 5 rules. Rule number 2, never eat and drink at the same time. Don't eat and drink. Don't eat and drink. Because when you eat and drink at the same time, you mix your solids with your liquids and you create an acidy brew. That's why everybody got a big stomach. That's why everybody got big. You got your side, your ribs are going out sideways. It's because you're not eating in a natural manner. So never eat and drink at the same time is rule number 2, because when you mix the 2 together, you create an acid brew. And this
Siba,
when you don't drink,
Mike, check your mic.
Yeah.
Mike, Mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 3.
You
So
back.
when you eat, can you hear me now?
Yeah, you back.
So when you eat, your solids go into your large intestine. And then when you drink 45 minutes later, you'll feel it. You'll feel it. You'll feel your stomach go, oh. That meant that all the food went into your large intestine. Now you can drink. When you drink, the food goes into your smoke. The liquid goes into your smoke. You urinate to the small intestine, and the waste comes out your stool to the large intestine. Okay. Now, rule number 3: eat as the table earth prepares the food. That means it's only coming from 3 places: from the ground, from the vine, or from the tree. The food only comes from 3 places. Now, if you know another place it comes from besides the corner store, tell me. It's only coming from the ground, the vine, and the tree. That's rule number 3. Eat as the table earth prepares the food. Mean don't overcook your food. Don't fry your food because you're cooking out the nutrients.
You can find in
Rule number 4. Rule number 3 is rule number 4 is don't overeat. Don't glut yourself. Don't eat everything in the room. Say something to somebody else. Because when you overeat, it's an way. So you must not eat everything in the room. Say something to someone else. And rule number 5 is the fast.
You gotta adjust your mic.
It's glitching now again.
Mic. I can bring it up a little closer.
No, it's just breaking up.
You got it now?
Sound is fine. You're good. It's just breaking up every so often. But it's clear now.
Bring the speaker to
rule number 5.
Mouthpiece. Bring the speaker to your mouthpiece. Because when it drops, it starts the crowd will close.
Okay, Mr. Riggs. Thank you, sir. Dua, Mr. Riggs. You still there, Mr. Riggs? Dua. We love being on your platform.
I'm there.
We love it.
Queen Diambi was listening.
So,
in. Oh,
the great Queen Mother Goddess, the great divine Queen Mother, Dua. We are humbled and honored that she has graced us with her presence. Dua, Queen Mother Goddess. Panata Pamaat, Ankwas Tejet, Uncle Jasaneb, Ubanafikia Panaburu Mati, to our great divine, revered, honorable Queen Mother Goddess. Dua. Rule number 5. The last rule. Now remember, you broke all 4 of these rules I just told you when you woke up this morning. So you never had your first day. In order to have your first day, you have to follow these 4 rules. And now there's number 5. Rule number 5 is to fast occasionally. For certain periods of the year, you must fast to detox, purify, and cleanse the body of all impurifications. So rule number 5 is to fast occasionally. And these are the 5 golden rules of a true Naga, Shemsuru, Nesubiti, Hemet, Siba, Sibat, Mudatas, the immortal ones of Ma'at. And this will gift you with immortality. You will not get sick. And you will not suffer to the laws of inhumanity. And now I want you to hear from Ramutef Kweb, who will show you how to regain the star of your birth and the star of your transition, which was stolen from you from the Gregorian calendar and that lunar cycle calendar of 30 days in every month. That means every 130 years, 1 unearned day is added to the calendar. Okay? Now, that's 130 years. You're not going to see it. So the reason why, so we don't see it because you're not alive, because you ate that food. So you died at 60 years old. 60 years old, you thought you had a good life. You thought you had a good life living 60 years old, and he just stole 150 years from you. We lived to be 200 years old. You're living the day. It's crazy. The whole mentality that they have you under, they stole your information. So what they did was they corrupted, they fragmented, and they plagiarized our story, and then they regurgitated it back to you in an unholy manner and called it history, or they call it his story. So we're not here to talk about his story. We're here to talk about our story, our cultural, cosmic, collective consciousness, spirituality. which has existed for tens of millions of years. They got us into this 5,000 years. They took 10 million years on the Gregorian calendar and put it into a 5,000-year-old story. And we're going for it. We're not going for that story no more? We're not living in that Hellenistic box. That's not what our ancestors left us. It's in the Medunetta. But we're going to have Ramu Tef now that we know that they stole the star at your birth. So you think on your birthday, it's your birth. It's not your birthday because the star that was in the sky on that day is not there. The day he was born, there was a star in the sky. And if it's not there, when the earth comes back around the sun, then somebody stole your, I don't want to say it well, not to digress, but I'm speaking a little pop talk, stole your shizzle, isn't it? This is your cosmic Naga Swizzaga. You got to get your swagger back on. You got to get your Naga swagger back on. You got to learn to acquire the ability to experience the phenomenal being. And so you must understand how primordial temple discipline operates with the Trinity, sacred science, divine mathematics, and your cultural cosmic consciousness. With astrology and astronomy, we have absolute accountability and style validation. And I present to you now, Ramu Tef Kweb, Dua, Panatapa Pama.
You're still muted, brother. He's just sorting son. He's just jumped out to jump back in. Give him a second, family.
All right. Well, we're gonna keep it rolling. We're gonna keep it rolling. You know, we don't have no dead time on Black Ice TV 7. We want everybody to bring the donation.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, Kepper. Hold on a minute, Kepper Patel. We want everybody to make sure they make their donations. I seen
This
two
is Kepper
donations.
Patel's having a few technical difficulties.
Okay, Kepper. Just mute your mic right now, Kepper. We're gonna give a break for the pause for the cause for our brothers in England we are grateful to be on their platform, Black Ice TV Richie with Mr. Riggs, the great Mr. Riggs, my brother Mr. Riggs. We want everybody to send a donation in about now. Remember, this information is free. We are here to give you this information because it's your information. We cannot charge you for this information. This is we're only here to help you remember. Everything we spoke about, you already knew. You just didn't remember. You didn't remember. We're just here to spike your memory and bring back your culture, cosmic, collective conscious spirituality. And I get Ramu Tef Kweb's back. We're gonna give the floor to Ramu Tef Kweb because Kepler, I spoke for an hour. Kepler spoke for an hour. I said, dog, he out-talked me. Let's bring Ramu Tef Kweb back into the picture.
No pressure. No pressure.
no pressure, Ramu Tef.
Now you gonna go for 2 hours.
do I see, but take your mic off. Unmute your mic.
You hear me?
Yes, do I.
Hold on 1 second. All right. So, anybody in the chat or yourself, Richie or Mr. Riggs, do y'all have any questions you want to throw at me?
Well, the most obvious one is my birthday is September the 7th. So is there a way you can demonstrate that? That's all. September the 7th.
Sir.
What year?
1978.
Wait.
I'm young. So I'm saying fresh.
78. I got grandkids that age.
That's what I'm trying to say.
All right, so
George.
He said 1978, September?
Yeah, 7th.
7th. Well, for me, just tracking everything, I can tell you right now when it comes to the whole zodiacs, and so you are what they would call, what we would call Herokuti or Sekhmet, aka Leo. Would you by chance know the time?
I know it was early hours in the morning, about 7-ish, around 7 o'clock in the morning.
I'll just put it on for 7 for right now. Hold on 1 second. All right, so what it is that people don't understand is that this Gregorian calendar is so corrupt that, the everyday person wouldn't really think that this concept that they do is very, it's for nothing, but it really is. Because when you look back on time wise, right? Like I'm just gonna keep this setting, even though this is not gonna be a perfect setting for yourself, Sheba Richie. But no matter where you're at on the globe, on set, on Earth, the sun, where the sun is at, is going to look different just because of your position on the plane. So certain stars are going to look upside down to you. Some will look right side up. It all depends on your location. So just to give a quick rundown, right? So when I'm looking into this whole astrology and astronomy world, right? There's like a big debate between, the Western verdict, whatever, sidereal, doesn't matter what it is. My thing is when it comes to sidereal, when Siva uh, spoke on it earlier, he said that it's the charting of Sirius something, right? So how are you going to have sidereal astrology and you don't basing it off of the mathematical equation, let alone the star itself? So to use that name is like basically Hellenize people, no matter what. So what I'm introducing is the Nataru chronological star timeline, where everything has star validation, absolute accountability. So just for just purposes, and I'll send you a whole picture later on within a day. I'm gonna switch my mic over, not my mic, my camera real quick so you can see
Yeah, you want to
this
do a
first.
screen share?
No, I won't be able to. I'll have to do it on here.
I'll
So
just
as I
make it
was saying,
big. Don't worry. I'll just make it. Yeah, your screen's big right now. We can all see it.
all right. So you see how you have he was born on what they would call on a Thursday, right?
Yeah.
September 7th, 1978. Where's the sun at?
In the central Saturn,
Leo.
Leo. Okay.
Leo.
Yeah.
There you go.
Leo constellation.
But
Right.
and astrology that we know it, right? They will say that you are what?
A Virgo.
Exactly. But truth be told, where does it show you? And this is
Leo.
just off of data. But when you look at it from the through ponderable matter, right? The best way to track things, like I've been stating in other platforms, big ups to Siva Crumb Snatcher for his edition, the Rosarian Solar Sidereal Lunar Calendar,
Most
year number
definitely.
10, a dedication to the brother. Peace and love to him. Um, just to know that this, how the sun is tracking, like what I did is basically what you have to look for is you have to look for a constellation that rises before the sun and after the sun. So like right now in the REM pet, the sun would be like I'm just gonna shift it all the way basically to us, right? To now, as you can see, now where we're at now. The sun is in Cancer, is it not?
Right.
So that's why I was stating earlier that the sun is always in Cancer during the REM pet. Now, depending on where you're located on the galactic elliptic plane, well, where we're located in the galactic elliptic plane, which is basically in my PSR, aka Aquarius, certain positions are different. So, like for us in the East Coast over here in the United States, when the sun enters for our city, or I should say in my town, right, will be in August 3rd. So it'll be still in Cancer. But then once you get to August 10th, as you can tell, the sun will start. I don't know. Let me drop that back. The sun itself is going to keep moving within that zodiac. They have this
Right.
thing where they have to give how you say markings or whatnot, or give every constellation their due or their domain in a sense. But when you start looking at it through your own eyes, you're going to see that a lot of the things that they're giving you, especially in data wise, is not what it seems to be. Like for instance, when we go to what we
Brother,
call science,
I
go
got a
ahead.
date for you when you're ready for a sister that she really wanted to get breakdown. So when you're ready, I'll give you her date. She's written in the chat. I'll put it there.
My birthday is 10/19/1978, around 6 p.m. Okay, 6:10 a.m.
All right, no doubt, no doubt. So one thing before I go into that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
People don't really realize what they did is bad enough that they keep us on this lunar cycle calendar, and within that lunar cycle calendar, it's like a agricultural calendar for us for the Ramesh in a sense. They're what you call it, doing more through finance and their fiat currency. A lot of people don't have that true inner over and understanding how deep it is and how much they prey on us, especially with a calendar. We
Mm.
have all these holidays that run through all they're so-called 12 months, right? When Seba already stated these say means 10, so there's actually just 10 months. Those two other months we shouldn't even be celebrating whatsoever. However, at this present time, we're in a battle, we're in war with these individuals on all type of level. So people don't really realize that when you look through ponderable matter, now that the Pleiades and Orion and Septet is rising, we'll start to see the format of how it really looks like. Because in any other text that you'll see, say for instance in the tomb of
Settlement.
Sentiment, right?
Settlement.
You'll have a Haru figure that points towards a bull in the middle of the register. However, if you look through ponderable matter today, you're going to notice that Orion itself is actually pointing to Cyrus.
Mm.
But as you can see in any form or app or anything else that you are given that they try to give us to keep us controlled in a sense, you're going to see that Orion points towards what? Taurus, correct?
Taurus.
Or what we call Ptah. But I just
Mm.
want people to get that real understanding of how well how this, like, they're so deceitful. It's so crazy. It's so crazy.
Mm.
However, it's like just on plain sight, things that should see on a daily basis. Like right now, I'll give it about 10, 15 more days until you start actually seeing Orion pulling up the star. The best way to see it is on the Rampet coming up soon. And then, like, I want to say, I would like to say that there's a date for y'all over there in the UK as well that I'll try to link up. But as far as you said, the sister, she said what?
She is the 19th of the 10th, 1978, and she's around 6:10 in the morning, a.m. 6:10 a.m.
So
birth time.
October 19th, right?
Yeah, 19th of the 10th, 1978.
1978. All right. So this is, like I said before, even though we're not in location wise in your location. However, it doesn't matter where you're located because no matter where the sun tracks, when you track the sun, you're gonna find out like that's the solar aspect of our calendar. The lunar aspect is the seasons. The sidereal is the tracking of the stars, Substance, Cyrus. So she wanted to know, like, when it comes to just zodiac signs itself, the sister is what we would call Os, or AKA what you would call Virgo. No matter where
Okay.
you're at on this plane, the sun is always going to be where it's going to be. It just shifts every 72 years. But how the Gregorian calendar or how they track the sun or how they try to put it in apps, they're going to, if you carefully look of how they do it. So I'll pinpoint it right. So the sister's birthday was on October 19th, right?
Yeah,
1978, right?
yeah.
1978, around 6:10 a.m. All right, let me put that in there real quick. 6:10 a.m., right? So now I have the date, right? Now watch what happens with the sun according to when it comes to data wise, right? So her birthday was then, so it was on a what? A Thursday, right? So her birthday was on a Thursday. Then Next year, it was on a Friday, right? So if we go back to where it's at, how I pinpoint your star, right? There's a cluster of stars behind the sun, and we'll say, for instance, we'll choose this one right here, right? So now we'll go ahead and go to the following year, right? You see how it jumped?
Hmm.
Hmm.
See how it jumped?
Yeah, yeah. That's a
So
big
on
jump
her,
as well.
exactly. So when it comes to dealing with the sister, right? To understanding her birthday, right? It's so called a Friday. You see how it jumped on a Friday? Oh, so I gotta bring it out for it just so I can help out a little bit, right? I gotta do it this way. I apologize. So it's like when looking at the time frame, that Gregorian time, GMT, things like that, UTC, Julia time, they have a different type of method that they use to keep things on track. So it's
Right.
like,
Yeah. Interesting.
and then as you go to the next year, right? We'll go to the following year, 1980. As you can see, it keeps jumping. 81. Then it starts to
Mm,
try to come back to its original spot. Then we go to 82, right? And it just keeps jumping. 83, jump. 84, jump. 5, jumped. And it just keeps doing it in a pattern according to the Gregorian calendar. So by 1988? It was on a Wednesday. By the time it's on a Wednesday, her star is basically aligned right where I kept that locator. You see?
right.
But as you can tell, the sun keeps jumping, jumping, jumping. Now, with the Ipet Peru, Shabit Twa Pamaat, what I do is that I track it to your exact location so you know your particular divine birthday or divine birthright. That's what I do. When it comes to the information, things of that nature, I'm still in the process of getting to the highest point of that understanding. However, when it comes to placement, that is my job, that is my duty, and my purpose.
So
I
damn
don't see
laying
the
it.
brother. I just seen it in the.
Sweet.
I made it in the chat room for the broadcast. So I'm gonna do the brother Kepper Patar real quick as well.
Yeah. Wait, he's in the back. He is
So you,
October the 24th,
mm-hmm,
1974. What day was you
1974.
born, Kepra? Do you know that? Yeah, and what time should I say?
Yes. So the time was 7:30 a.m.
So we go from 7:30, right? And it's just
You were
like real simple things when it comes to this stuff, right? And then it's just to help people get an understanding of how corrupt these individuals have been doing us. So when we go and we place everything on the sun, right? And like
Yeah.
with technology in a sense, they'll give you a sense of what they'll tell you to your face, right? Southeast in the constellation of Virgo, right? So if I go centered it out, the sun itself is right there. When it comes to the brother's chart, you have Mercury, Uranus, Venus, Mars, all within that constellation. And then as you go further and foremost, you can start seeing where the moon is at, and then where Jupiter is at, and so on and so forth, to understand what you're rising and you're descending and midhaven in a sense. But it's a little different because this is still in the location of Kemet versus where you were actually located when you're born. But however, no matter where you're located on the plane, it's the stars and celestial bodies will still be the same no matter what. It's just that the degrees
Mm.
and the type of frequencies of where everything's at is what's the change that what changes in a sense. Because a lot of people don't understand that Africa
I
or
see.
Timeri is upside down, and then people about to find out that even the Americans is upside down. Like everything they give us is a lie.
Uh-huh.
You
That's
feel
it.
me? It's a straight
Yeah.
lie, and it's hurtful that we have these individuals doing that to us. on a daily basis.
Right.
And I would like to,
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
and I like to end on that note. But
It is very unfortunate.
very, very, it really is. But yeah, that's basically what I do. I base everything off of three types of location. I'll see through it through ponderable matter from digital, and then I'll place it in and do the calculations to the calendar itself. I'm still looking at myself. I apologize. I thought I was still on the screen. I thought I
You
was
you
still
you
on the
do,
back camera.
you want to do any more? Because we've got someone else who's part of the
Yeah,
day.
yeah, I got, yeah. Anybody who wants to tell me their birthday, I got them. The only thing is that when it comes to the Impetu Shabitum Twa Haru Pama, it's going to give me a couple days so I can actually pinpoint it. But say for instance, if you know the Rampet, according to the calendar, right? This is where we're at located. This is where we pronounce our Hesi, the Hekau, our Saku, and then just knowing that it's in Kepler, right? And then if you count the
Yep.
days going through on our calendar, and you start to find out that on what do you call it? Say for instance on the Gregorian calendar, right? You have on the 17th day of the year, on the 10th on the Gregorian calendar, on the 17th day of the year, that is the day where Leo enters, right? So if I go on here, where's it at? All right, so if I were to go all the way to at least August 10th, right? No matter where we're located on our plane, the sun goes right into Leo. So when you use the Ipeteru Shabitum Twaru Pamaat, you'll know that on the 17th day of the year after the Helical horizon, you'll understand that that's the day of Leo. And then you just keep on counting all the way till you get to September 15th on the Gregorian side. On our calendar, it'll be the 53rd day of the year. So if you go basically September 15th, right? And we go find where the sun is located real quick, center it out. You'll see that the sun is well within Leo. So when we get to the next day, on the 16th, the sun is basically entering into what we call Ost or AKA Virgo. So if you go back to the calendar, you understand it, just marking it. If you want to know how deep it is in a sense, just going by a calendar is going to all equate to 360 according to the solar count of how our sun Ra travels through the what I call through the celestial firmament in a sense. And then I apologize. So who's the next individual?
It is. It is. One second. Let me bring it on the screen. June the 13th, 1963, but they don't know the time.
Okay. Well, I'll just give. You said 1963.
Yeah.
Then all the time. All right. So when it comes to the whole count thing, right? You was probably told you was something else. But when it comes to how the sun moves, no matter where you're located on the galactic plane or on this terrestrial plane within the atomic domain, when it comes to your sign, we would call you Ptah, or what you would call, AKA Taurus.
Mm.
Just little things that they try to do to us, and it's so deep and just not even just astrology. It's in everyday living. Like they got it so messed up. It's it cracks you up on when every day I wake and rise. It's like how is it? Like I always wonder when people always said this. It was a great question. How is it that they can keep us subjugated, mentally carcerated? What is it that they do it? And it's literally when you wake up. As soon as you wake up, the first thing you look for is what time it is, right? We understand that time is the movement or the measurement of the light, correct?
Right.
So that's when time starts. So if you see light, you already know that's time starts. Have time start within yourself and move about your day as so forth.
All right, what is that?
Got a new one here. 14th of July, 1981 at 9 p.m.
81.
We gotta give you that work, Ramontev.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
You dropping off. The people want this now. It's your time.
Yeah. While he, excuse me, see, but while he's looking at for that, I want everybody to know that we're on Black Ice TV 7 with Brother Richie and Brother Mr. Riggs, and we want to let everybody know that me and Ramutef Kweb have to perform a Upawat Smata we Pet Digital Ubin Subtit Neferu Ren Pet Happy New Year celebration at the Museum of the National Center of Afro-American Artists at 300 Walnut Ave at the Royal Burial Chamber of Nesubiti of Sparta. And we have ran over the 2 o'clock timeline. We have over the 2-hour mark right now. So if anybody wants us to continue, wants to keep hearing Ramutef Kweb's talk, can you please donate $5 right now to Black Ice TV to the what account? What is your? Can you show them?
The PayPal's there, people. Go straight to the PayPal's there for Black Eyes TV. PayPal me, Richie.
Because if I do not see somebody, you smoked all that marijuana all day. You know you smoked that reefer all damn day. Kick in some of that dough. Kick that dough into Black Ice TV because they're bringing you some supreme information. And they're coming from brothers in England. We just had our brother from the Sudan. We got the brothers in America. We're doing a global mobilization, and ain't nobody kicked in $1 yet. Now, this is Black Ice TV 7, and we want everybody to show their appreciation for what Brother Richie and Mr. Riggs is doing, and the Queen Mother Goddess is even listening right now. Okay? So y'all got to show some love here. Y'all got to show some love because I have to get up early in the morning and perform a Hesse live on the grounds of the Museum of the National Center of American Artists. I have to get up and go inside the Royal Burial Chamber and do this all over again. I said, we're going to go cosmic. We're going to go into the primeval ocean of nothingness. We're going to take you, I can bring you to the water, but I can't make you drink it. We're going to take you cosmic and let you acquire this ability to experience the phenomenon of being. Right now, we're just talking atomic energy. We're talking the sun. The sun has a mirrored reflection, which is radiation, which is subatomic. So we're going to go into the primeval germ. We're getting ready to go into the COBE, the Cosmic Observatory Background Explorer. We're getting ready to go into the cosmic background radiation, the cosmic egg, and then take you into the primeval ocean of nothingness, into new, to all of alls. We're getting ready to break this down so that we got Brother Kepper Patah right there. He just gave you an hour. I thought I could talk. Brother Kepper just gave you an hour of frequencies and divineness. And I see somebody put a donation into Black Ice TV's PayPal account to show you love. Now, I know we're being broadcast all over the world. Now, if everybody just spends $1, we got the Queen Mother listening right now, and she wants to see y'all show some love. I want to see you show some love because I'm starting to find the audience to be kind of suspect. I think the audience is suspect right now. And I'll let you know. I'll call you out. I'll call you all out. Don't tell me you can't spend $1 for Black Ice TV. I'm kind of upset because when I'm on other programs, they're throwing $20, $40. The money's just rolling in. I ain't seen one dime flash across the screen yet. I got Ramutef Kweb showing you your divine birthright. He's showing you the star of your birth because when you're born, you're on a lunar cycle calendar. And lunar cycle calendar, 130 years, 100 day is added to the calendar.
Seba, your words are moving them. Your words are moving them. Big up to Super Business for $5 donation. Big up.
All right. Dua.
Yeah, big up to Good Mood from earlier. Let me just show big up to Memoirs. KEMETIC. Destiny. No. Show love to everybody. And again, if you can't donate, at the very least, just hit that like button because there's some big information coming and has been laid down, and it's closing the circuit for you in your head. You know what I'm saying? Today is about activation.
Yes.
It's about you solidifying yourself in a position to achieve and to know where you are in this universal space.
Exactly. Dua, Seba. That's right.
So what Ramutef is ready. I think this is Apple Cakes is one, 14th of July 1981, 9 p.m. Is this the one there, Ramotef? Yeah, yeah.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
so what? So listen. What Ramutep is showing you is that if you think that this is the sign of Leo right now, but Cancer, the constellation of Cancer, is in the sky. So why is Cancer in the sky if this is the sign of Leo? So what you have to understand is that the Earth is tilted 23.5 degrees from vertical, but that's the vertical line. But we have a magnetic north, and magnetic north has shifted 1 degree. And this 1 degree might not seem a lot, but we shifted we precess. The phenomenon of precession is the 26,000 year cycle that the sun goes through each and every sign of the zodiac. Our days move clockwise, but the zodiac moves counterclockwise. It precesses. It's moving backwards. So it moved 1 degree. So if you think you're a Leo, I thought my birthday is July 28th on the fraudulent Gregorian chronological timeline, which is coming up in 3 days. Come to find out, I'm a Cancer. I thought I was a Leo. But Leo's not in the sky. So if Leo's not in the sky, how can I be a Leo? I'm a Cancer. If that Cancer is in Medunetta, it's Kepra. All the Greeks did was took the beetle and changed it into a crab. Okay, then this is on the methodological star timeline legend, the spherical legend that you see, or the spherical diagram or schematic that we have on the calendar on the Ipitaru Shabitam Tuaru Pamaat is Kepra. And before Kepra, if you think you're born in the sign of Cancer or Kepra, you're really Gemini, which is Shu and Tefnu. Okay, that's because it's tilted. So now every 72 years, the sun precesses through the great age. So it has to move 2,161 years as it precesses into one great age. So in order for us to understand the complexity of this, it means that we had to have somebody like Ramutep stay outside at night and watch these stars. He had to live for 72 years, first of all, so he had to live it. Because if you had that Roman, that European diet, you already died from cancer at 60 years old. Okay, so now he's gonna live it. He's up there in the mountain watching this constellation for 72 years, and he noticed that the sun precessed through the zodiac 1 degree. So now we had to have another brother or another sister who was into the astrology and who was part of the cultural spirituality, who stood up there for another 72 years and watched it precess another degree. Okay, and then we had to watch it for 26,000 years to find out one great year, because there's 12 great ages and there's one great year. A great year is 26,000 years. A common year is 360 days, which is the time it takes the Earth to go around the sun. So you have to look at this esoterically and esoterically. You have to understand the profoundness of our Nubian Black African minds, that we was able to understand this concept of phenomenon of precession. So when you're in school, they teach you that the Earth rotates on its axis. They teach you that the Earth revolves around the sun. And they teach you even that the Earth wobbles. But they never tell you that that wobble is caused because the Earth is tilted 23.5 degrees from vertical, which makes it wobble. And this wobble is this wobble is the phenomenon of precession. Nobody talks about the phenomenon of precession, because if they did, then African people would know their cosmic time. And the worst nightmare for our slave masters is to have an African person know cosmic time. Because once we know cosmic time, we're in tune with the universe. And we're in the tune with the universe, we're going to take back the planet. I wouldn't give this planet back to you niggas either. Who going to give it back to some nigga worshiping Jesus Christ and Allah and all this old foolishness? Okay? I wouldn't give this planet back. I keep my knee on the neck of every black person on this planet if you believe in Jesus Christ, if you believe in Allah, if you believe in Jehovah, if you believe in some religion. We never had a religion. Religion is used to control you. We have a cultural, cosmic, collective consciousness, spirituality, okay? And it's based upon the doctrines of Ma'at and the concept of self-creation, okay? There is an order. It applies to all things. This order is called the order. I'm getting mad now because I don't see no more money popping up there. I'm going to shake some dough off this crew here, okay? There is an order, and it applies to all things. This order is called the order of existence. It was issued by the creator of all things, Ra Nebuchadnezzar, to ensure the continuous perpetual evolutions of all things. So when I speak to you of the new age order of the great golden age of Mata Piasa and the new age order star gospel of the self-creation of Ra Nebuchadnezzar, it is of this order that I speak. This is our cultural, cosmic, collective, conscious spirituality, as it is written inside the pyramid text, the mastaba text, the coffin text, within the papyrus of Anu, Anai, Ani, and in the Kemenu, in the Shabaka stone, and every other cosmological concept of the Zep Tepi. We know that it goes, I am he, she, who existed in the primeval ocean of nothingness, eons and eons of evolutions ago, before the beginnings of time. When I thought that the moment had come, I fashioned my mouth and I uttered my name as a word of power. With this power that was my birthright, I fashioned myself in forms from out of the primeval ocean of nothingness. I was alone at this time. There were none others with me then. I am the beginnings of time which began when I took form and commanded the power. Now it came to pass that I found no place upon which I could stand. So I straightway brought forth from my own minded thoughts the primeval mound from out of the primeval ocean of nothingness. Being that I was alone at this time, it pleased me to make others. So I went from being Netched 1 to Netched 3. I made these beings in the manner in which all things are made. I, Ra Nebuchadnezzar, the he, the she, the mother and father of all existence, I embraced my shadow and I grasped my member and I loved myself. I issued forth the Netched Shu and I multiplied its forms millions and millions of times. I gathered a portion of the remains and I swallowed them and I spat forth Tefnu. They are my heart and soul, twins born of the same birth. When you find the one, you find the three, because the three is of the one is of the three. Shu and Tefnu had union. They gave birth to Seb, the earth, and Nut, the sky. And I multiplied their forms millions and millions of times. Seb and Nut had union. They gave birth to the earth Netchedus. Their names are Heru-Ur, Asa, Ast, Nebhet, Heru-Ur, Asa, Sut, Set, Ast, and Nebhet. Asa and As gave birth to Heru. Heru and Heru gave birth to the Shemsurus. Their names are Mester, Happy, Tama, Tefik, Questioner. And when all this was done and all manifestation of things that came into being, I praised each and every black hole constellation and thing of being where they're now found. And together they give meanings to my work, and their movement is no drain on my powers. It is I, Ra Nebuchadnezzar, who issue forth the order of existence. Now this Medunetta text, this cosmological text is written in Medunetta over 400,000 years ago. They're telling you about a 5,000-year-old story. We know what it says. He says, Anuk, F is him. Here is masculine and feminine. He said, I am he, she, who existed. So what did they tell you? I am that I am. You're going to whip for some monkey-ass story. They're going to take your story, regurgitated, corrupted it, and fed it back to you in an unholy manner. And you're like you're like some Cub Scout coming out of the cornfields of Kansas. And you went for that monkey story. You went for Monday to, you said, oh, what's today? Oh, today's Saturday. You got to be out of your cotton picking mind. What did Baba Kaba community say? He said, you're out of your cotton picking mind. He said, I know I'm out of my cotton picking mind. The problem is you still in the cotton picking mind. You still picking that cotton in that brain. That brain, they got a joke. They said they're selling the harvesting our organs, right? So they're selling our organs. Was that? This is a beautiful power.
They're just enjoying you people. So
the joke goes, they got human brains. They got the white man's brain, the Chinese man's brain, and they got the black man's brain. So the white man's brain said, yo, we're selling this brain for $250,000. Shit, I'll take two of them. So they said, well, we got the Chinese man, that's going for $3 million. Oh, give me 5 of them. The guy said, well, we got the black man's brain, but that's $10 million. He said, damn, why that cost so much? Because he ain't never used it. I know, let it soak in for a while. So anyways, you have to begin to applicate the concept of self-creation. So first, this is your divine birthright. Your birthright is immortality. Let's get down to the chase here. Our birthright, when we woke up this morning, we was born through immortality. When we transitioned, we transition to immortality, mathematically, scientifically, in your cultural, cosmic, collective conscious spirituality. Or I'm blowing smoke up your butt. Okay, if you can't applicate this with sacred science, define mathematics, in your cultural, cosmic, collective conscious spirituality, and then you have astrology and astronomy, you have absolute accountability and style validation. This is how temple discipline works. This is how our cultural, cosmic, collective conscious spirituality. And this is our story. So I never even spoke about his story. But let's talk about that bum history story that you got your kids learning. You told the kids that they were sad. You woke up this morning and told your kid that today was Saturday. We call that contraband. Contraband is black people conditioning other black people into mental, physical, spiritual, subjugated slavery. The white man don't even have to be here. He got you conditioned. It's called UPP. UPP is unnecessary pain and punishment. It's called volunteer fabricated pain. You're giving yourself pain. You're giving yourself pain. You're giving it to your kid. You told him today's Saturday. How could the day listen? Sunday is the day of the sun. So that means we have to remain African. The day of Ra is always the first day. It's the first day of our day is the day of Ra. Second day is the day of the moon, which is lunes, which is Monday. Monday in Spanish means lunes. So Monday, Sunday, and Monday remain the same. They couldn't change that. So now, if you're supposed to move from the sun to the moon, now you're on the earth. But whoa, lo and behold, we go to Tuesday. Tuesday is the Roman goddess Twi. Okay, and she's the goddess of vegetation. Okay, now Wednesday they moved to Norway, to the Vikings, and the Vikings worshipped Odin, and Odin was Wednesday was Woden, and Woden became Odin, and Thursday and Wednesday and Tuesday is Martes. Martes is in planetary aspect is Mars, and then Wednesday is Mercury, which is Mercury, and Wednesday is in academia. Wednesday is Woden. Woden is Odin. And Odin has a son. His name is Thor, who's Thursday. So Wednesday and Thursday is the Vikings. And then Thursday is Webers, and Webers becomes Jupiter. Okay, let's follow me here. Are you with me, people? Frances Cress Wilson would always say, the great divine transition queen mother goddess, Frances Cress Wilson. Are you with me, people? Are you with me, people? Then put a donation down here. I don't see a donation yet. But we're going to break this down because we got a little airtime here, and I got to go to sleep. I got no time to babysit. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm not here to take your temperature, and I damn sure ain't here to babysit you. I'm here to help you, assist you to acquire the ability to experience the phenomenon of being. You better wake up. You better wake up quickly. They say I'm a head trigger. I'm not a head trigger. I just do not like to play games with my African people's spirituality. They got a pathogen they just dropped on the planet. They're trying to exterminate us. They got 5G, they got chemtrails, they're getting ready to activate the 5Gs, and the nanomites in the air is going to electrify, it's going to blow your brain up. They're going to put a chip in your hand. You think you got that Hotep pimp on. You know you woke up, got your little game on, got your little pimp game on, got your little Hotep hustle on. You know damn, but what you got to spend the money? They got a one global currency. And you can't spend the money unless you get a chip in your hand. And you can't get the chip in hand until you get the vaccine. So it's suicide. So where you going to go? It's a good thing they did drop this pathogen. You ain't going to work because now you get a chance to go into yourself and find out what's really going on. And you're not going to find out what's going on until you learn the concept. You learn, first of all, you got to learn how to tell time. That's what Ramotep is trying to do, is show you a star of your birth. You got to know how to tell time because you got to move to the light. And then once you go to the light, now you know that the light has a mirror reflection. How do you know the light has a mirror reflection? Because when the light shines its light upon anything that has solid, liquids, and gases as matter or has a physical object in front, it's going to cast a shadow. Have you ever asked yourself what the shadow is? You never asked yourself, but I bet you when that sun got real hot, you put your little monkey butt underneath that shadow, got in that shade, huh? Try to cool off. But you ever try to figure out what the shade is? The shade, so if the light is atomic energy, then that which it casts, which is the shadow, becomes subatomic. Now, if you're applicating the sacred science, divine mathematics, and the metaphysical aspects of our cultural, cosmic, collective, conscious spirituality, you understand that the sun is a hydrogen atom. And the atom is a proton, neutron, a proton, neutron surrounded by a nucleus that has an electron. Okay? It's atomic energy. And when it shines its radiates its light down on anything, it creates a shadow. Now that means that that shadow is subatomic. So now you get to see that which was once incomprehensible and not understandable is now revealed. because you're applicating your cultural, cosmic, culture spirituality. This ain't spookism. Don't tell me my spirituality is spookism. Hey, got brother. The problem is we got the Medunetta guys who know Medunetta, but they don't know science. They don't know mathematics, and they don't know astrology. Then we got the astrologist. He don't know Medunetta. He don't know scientific science. He don't know mathematics. I got Gabriel Yibo, the great mathematical with Gij, comma J equals 0, and he doesn't know cultural spirituality. He's calling it Gij, comma J equals 0, which is God Almighty Grand Unification Theorem. That's why I got kicked off the Shock Metaphysics Spiritual Kemetic School, because I wasn't subscribing to that. I ain't describing nothing that got God in the front of it, because God got us in the position we are now. So any fool that tells you about God is talking religion. So you better get yourself together, because this is a red pet. This is a time for healing, a time for our family. Oh, there's 8 billion people on the planet. If I can save 1 billion and realistically speaking, say 750 million, I'm happy. The rest of you niggas can die because I can't take you with me. Harriet Tubman said, I'm not apologetic. I don't have no one to answer to. Harriet Tubman said, I would have saved the rest of them niggas. They didn't even know they were slaves. So you think I'm bringing you niggas with me into the new age order? I'm bringing Nagas. I'm bringing Shemsurus. I'm bringing Nasubitis. I'm bringing Hemets. I'm bringing Sibas. I'm bringing the Mutatats. I'm bringing the immortal ones of Ma'at Cherish. Those born from the GLOK, the great lines of kings and queens. Those who were born from the loins of Heru, the Shemsurus. Now we got these Sibas out here still talking, still doing their classes. Don't worry about me. I'm a hair trigger. They think I'm a hair trigger. I'm not a hair trigger. It's just too late at night to be playing games. Y'all working us to death, and I ain't seen one dime come across the screen. All right, I'm gonna shake some money out of somebody. Somebody gonna kick in some dough tonight for Black Ice TV, because I'm not here to entertain you. You have to understand that if you do not acquire this ability this year, we might go into extinction. Donald Trump's trying to put us into extinction. The whole globe is in league against us. It's like they did in 333 BCE. Then the 400 BCE was they had a council, because after 754 BCE, when they put us on the lunar cycle calendar, then came Nebuchadnezzar and his son Nebuchadnezzar and his son Nebuchadnezzar in 666 BCE. And then after he enslaved everyone, then came Darius, the Persian, and then came Xerxes, and they're all putting us into subjugation. Now, after Darius, here comes the Greeks. And at this time, they're all gorging on Africa because it's the great golden age of Pisces, and that's the age of Uncle Set, when the portals opened and they stole time from us. So the reason why we don't know anything, because we don't understand time. So we had to understand time. So what they did was they took us to court. They took us to court. So what they did, instead of fighting against each other, these foreign nations, they ganged up on us. They said, hey, why are we fighting against Africa so big? Everybody can get a piece of this pie. We can take all this shit from these niggas. These niggas don't even know what time it is. And we taught the world how to tell time. Yet we don't know how to tell time. What does this sound like? And even to this day, Ramatef already told you. You woke up this morning. What is it since John Henry Clark, Marcus Garvey, Du Bois, Sheikh Diop, John Henry Clark, all the way up the line of the great teachers? What has changed? We're still in the same position we was back then. We still ain't got no reparation. We got nothing. Don't even know how to tell time. You silly ass niggas don't even know how to tell time. I'm not supposed to be the only one that knows how to tell time. I got students who got their children telling time. We need to teach the children how to tell time, because you old guys, I'm not even wasting no time with you. I want to see the children. I want the throwaways. I want my people that got no money. I want my people living on the streets. I want my people locked up in jail. I want those who are discarded, because they know how to appreciate us. You think we got a job, we got a car, we got a house. You're just a well-dressed slave. So we have to understand. Don't mind me. I'm gonna give you a guilt trip one way or another. Or I'm gonna.
No, we feeling it, Seba. Listen, you laying it down. You're bringing us home. This is what we needed: the edification of Kapara Ramotef.
Yeah.
Sister dropped off early. I was ashamed for that.
And we
AMRU.
never even had the Queen Mother. She was supposed to moderate. That's where the frequency um, um, was averted. But when the Queen Mother comes back, when the Queen Mother addresses the platform tomorrow at the Museum of the National Center for Art, we believe we're going to let the Queen Mother speak, and the Queen Mother is gonna facilitate the whole procession in the narrative. We're going to fall back and bow down to the feminine powers, because only through our Queen Mother goddesses, we must honor our Queen Mother goddesses. They are not gods; they are goddesses. It's from the womb of the
True.
Queen Mother we came, and from the womb, the invisible, visible.
No, just black family first. Just a reminder for the people. Them, it's a
Yes,
theme that we're pushing,
yes.
and that's where it's coming from.
Don't mind me. I just want to save my Nagas. I'm a realistic. I'm a military priest. I'm at war. I got mothers crying. I got babies dying, and I got stars aligning, and I got everybody out here playing pip games. Okay. Now, the whole thing now is this primordial temple discipline. If you're a teacher and you're going to speak, you must perform your hesi. You must perform your saku. And you just can't get up there and say, I say, I ask the ancestors for permission to speak. They ask the ancestors for permission to speak. I hear one ancestor tell you can speak. So shut up. Don't speak if you ask the ancestors to speak, because there ain't no ancestor here that's going to talk, because the ancestors have already transitioned, unless you're talking to the winds of the trees and the breeze. Other than that, I ain't hear nobody say nothing. So how we do it is we address the cosmic forces that allow us love, guidance, and protection through the daily experience of ponderable matter. That means in your Hesi, you have to tell me what day it is and what this day is in reference to the star Subject, how many days it takes for Subject to rise again, and you got to tell me what day, what month, and what season, as the Ipitaru Shabit them to, and then you close it out with the Hesi to the great God's mother or to the creator. And then you have permission to speak, because your words are machiru. You are victorious and righteous grace. You have true of utterance, and you are true of voice. Other than that, keep your mouth shut. All you teachers out there, come see Ptah-Sirius. Come to Boston, Mass, to the Museum of the National Center for American Artists. Come to take a road trip. Bring your gi with you, because we ain't taking no more of these Sethian teachers. We're not taking no more of these teachers who are Shemsu Set. So there's only two types of people on this planet. You're either a Shemsu Ru or you're a Shemsu Set. And right now, the Shemsu Set are ruling this planet. And right now, they've been running over time on our time. We're 500 years later taking over this planet, because I got niggas that don't know how to tell time. I need Nagas. I need true Nagas. I need the immortal ones of Ma'at, the universal monarchs. You are immortal. Acquire the ability to experience the phenomenon of being. I hate to end off this way, because I'm just so upset that the people that have listened to this show could not donate. 3 people could not donate $10, $20, $30 to, not that we're begging for no money. It's just that we're used to seeing the love. This is New Year's. This is the red pet. Everybody rise. Everybody rise. Rise for something. You know, they say the lotus, the golden lotus, only blossoms every 26,000 years. Don't miss it. So if you happen to be here within the 26,000 year cycle of the phenomenon of procession and you don't see it, we're helping you to see that this new age order is only 10 years into the new age order. That means we just left the old age order. That means that you lived in 2 great ages. Do you understand that? You lived. Yes, sir. Yes, Siva.
Let's see.
You want to
I
slow
just
me
wanted
down?
to point out, because
Yes, sir. You take over.
I just wanted to share this part, because when we identify with our actual day, my day is always going to fall on the same day of Quebsanuf, on the 62nd day of Renanut. But if I use the Gregorian calendar, I'm going to be bouncing up and down the calendar. So in other words, we have been taught that your day and nothing about you is permanent. So therefore, you identify with things that are finite, because your time is finite. It bounces around, it jumps all over the place. So we're all over the place. But we have stability in the time in which we're born, and we know that we're going to see that same star cluster every year. On the 9-day weeks, they will have a true understanding of who we actually are. Because what I'm finding out is that if I go by the Gregorian calendar, I can't really identify as being a Scorpio sun, because that is not permanent. It's going to shift. And at the same time, the calendar itself has been out of alignment. So we're dealing with a calendar that's out of alignment. And we're used to dealing it, and all the occult knowledge that a lot of people have, most of it is acclimated to the Gregorian calendar. So therefore, they're still getting confused and getting mixed frequencies and signals themselves. So this is very important. So with the elder Spdt-Sirius has to offer with the Rosarian calendar is very important, because we're used to being in time that is conditional. We're not dealing with the jet pillar. Our backbone is crooked because we have been so used to dealing with crooked time. And this is why he says that a lot of us have been listening to people who are well-dressed thugs and gangsters, because they know that something's off, but they continue to promote something that is unstable and still talk about the jet pillar, which is also coming from an unstable place. You need stability. So with the Rosarian calendar and dealing with the time, when you're dealing with your solar, lunar, and stellar calendar, you're connecting with those three aspects of the self that keeps you alive. That's the divine triangulation. So I just wanted to add my 2 cents in real quick.
Dua. That was good. You calmed me down. That was good. You took the segment out of me.
Yeah, but the brother is correct. Like, and that's what I came to find out with the past 3 years of me conditioning myself or training myself, as a how you would say, like, in a dojo. Like, I train myself that way to track these stars.
You're disciplined.
It's the mental temple discipline. Mental temple, same concept, just gotta apply it. But just to see that, just through just data, you can see, like I showed earlier, that it keeps jumping. But you gotta understand that the sun is always going to be in those places. But however, when it comes to these ages, it goes 15 degrees up, 15 degrees down. It hits the galactic center in a sense, and it just keeps traveling. And that's how you go through the ages, how the sun moves. It moves in a frequency, its own frequency. And all we're trying to do is help the Ramech, the people, come back to that frequency. It's been a long time since the sun had stopped falling on us. And now that the sun is rising on us again, we got to get with the times, baby. That's all I can say.
Exactly.
Got to get with the times.
Exactly.
And the best way to do it, not just going through the calendar, but just take your motion, meditate on it. Just meditate on it. And when that day comes, seek me out either on Facebook, Instagram, or even on an email. And the best way to connect yourself is that you have to place yourself within this plane. Just understand that we're all having an atomic energy conversation. And what we're trying to do, what I'm trying to do, is bring you into the celestial firmament. What Spdt-Sirius is trying to do and KEMETIC is trying to do is send you into the subatomic so you can understand what the all of alls, or what the creator is, who we call Ra Never Ra.
Right. So everybody has to understand that this is the first part of the Red Pet. This is only part 1. The Nilotic Meridian. The sun and the star rises on the Nilotic Meridian. That means from Giza, from the pyramids, down to Medaway, Napata, Kerma in the Sudan. On the west side is Napa Playa. We run down that Nilotic Meridian all the way down to South Africa. We got Adam's calendar. We have the Horus Stone. Now, the Horus Stone, they say, the 3 stars fall upon the Horus Stone in front of the Horus Stone from the constellation of Orion. And when they run it back, just like Ramotep ran it back on you right there, they do that on the Horus Stone. It runs back 250,000 years ago. So that means that 250,000 years ago, there's a stone with the features of Horus. That means that the Shamsurus were in full bloom 250,000 years ago. In order for us to understand the calculations of that stone there 250,000 years ago, we had to be here 250,000 years before that just to figure out how to get us there. So we're talking 1 million years, and that's being conservative. I'm telling you, we've been here for 10 million years as flourishing And this got nothing to do with Australopithecus africanus humanus or some Darwin's theory of evolution or some stupidity that you're learning from this man about we came from apes or some stupid thing. I was born from the great line of King the Queen. I was born from the loins of Heru, and I was born from the direct issue of Ra Nebuchadnezzar. The Queen Mother Goddess who was supposed to be here. The masculine entity was bum rushing the conversation. Me, talk about me. And Queen Mother was there waiting for like an hour. She said, "Listen, I'm bailing out." She said, "I'm not dealing with this masculine energy, but I want to apologize to the Queen Mother of the comic dynasties, Joy Allen, and we want to let you know that our ancestors were here millions and millions of years ago. We know this because if we go back, we precess to the phenomenon of precession from Leo, which is Sekhmet or Herokuti. We go back 2,000 more years, 2,161 years. Go back 2,161 years, we're in Cancer, which is Kepra. We go back 2,160 years. Now we're in Gemini, which is Shu and Tepnu. Then we go back 2,161 years. We're in Taurus, which we know is Ptah, because on the Shabaka stone, we know that they worship the Menefa, which is the white wall. The temple is orientated to the celestial alignment of the bull, Taurus, and they worship Ptah. So we know that that's the constellation of Ptah. Just like 2,160 years before that, we precess into Aries. And we know that in the temple of Luxor, Karnak, they have an avenue of sphinxes with ram heads that's faced to the orientated to the spring equinox. And when the constellation of Aries came into that, but Aries was really Amen. And when the constellation of Amen came in with the sun, Amen became what? Amen Ra. It's a star date. Everything is a star date. Then we go back 2,161 years. We're in Pisces, right? Now that's 6,000, that's 2,000, 4,000, 2,000, 4, 6, 8, 10. We're talking 12,000 years to Leo. When the constellation of Herokuti faced the spring equinox and the constellation of Leo or Herokuti, and it was looking at its own image as above, so below, 12,000 years ago. Now we know, was the Sphinx built 12,000 years ago? But it couldn't have been, because paleoclimatology tells us it was an ice age. And if it was an ice age, that means the polar caps were melting. That means that the Nile Valley was filled, the Sphinx was filled up to his neck with water. So unless you got a scuba diving outfit on, you wasn't built. No. The Herokuti or the Sphinx wasn't being built. Okay, so now that means you got to go back around the phenomenon of another 26,000 years. Add the 12,000 years, you're talking 38,000. That knocks that 5,000-year-old story right out the box. I don't believe in this Mickey Mouse story. We got the Neteru. We don't have a chronological timeline. We have the Neteru, a logical star timeline. I'm telling you, we have the secret right here. This is called the precious treasure. Now, we just got through discussing that in South Africa, the Adams calendar, the Horus Stone, is 250,000 years old. So that's 26,000 years, 26,000 years, 26,000 years, and 26,000 years. That's 4 cycles around the phenomenon of precession or the precession of equinox. That comes out 425 is 100,000 years. So now we got to go 4 more. 8 comes out to 200,000. And then we go 2 more, that's 250. Okay? So we're talking about we've made hundreds of thousands of orbits around the phenomenon of precession. They're still punking us out on 2 ages. They got us on 2 ages, 2,161 years and 2,161 years. And that comes out to 4,000 years, which is their story. Their chronological timeline only goes back to 754 BCE. It's called AUC. Please Google it. You're supposed to be scholars. You do your due diligence. Do you know when you go inside that World Wide Web, you're gonna be Hellenized and lobotomized. It's called with Professor Leonard Jeffries, my great Seba, the great elder Seba, Dr. Professor Leonard Jeffries would say, it's the paralysis of the analysis. You're like, a scholar is nothing but a African with a wig on. You got a wig on your head, and you're gonna try to talk to me with that scholarship foolishness. We got the Naga ship. I am the CEO and executive officer of the Nagatian Institute of Cosmic Awareness, Spiritual Consciousness, and Universal Enlightenment. And this is the Naga Ship Association. We don't have scholarship.
If you got a scholarship, that means you came from the school of Plato. That means you're a Greek and a Roman. You can't even have a conversation here. First of all, you don't got a Hesse. You don't know how to tell time, and you eat that meat. You know, they don't even talk to me. None of the Sebits will talk to me. How come we're not all come together and help him and assist in PTAH? It took me 50 years to do this calendar. I spent 50 years of my life deciphering this calendar that I gave to you in less than 2 hours.
Facts. Seba, listen, I'm glad that you came to this point where you started to mention the Nagas Institute and the calendar. Because before we go, because you've edified the people, we've given them the complete circuit right now for them to, as you said, do their due diligence, hit the streets and start researching. But I want you to let the people know where they can find your organization, where they can, you know, hit you up, and where they can most definitely get the calendar. So
I'd like everybody, first of all, to donate. Don't send me a dime. I don't want a dime. Don't send me. If I learned anything from the past, don't let them mockers gobby me. They ain't casing me for no passion. I don't want a dime. Don't send me nothing. You send the money to Black Ice TV. Send your donations to Brother Richie and Mr. Riggs and the Queen Mother, because they bring you top-notch information. Now, if you want to get your reading done, if you want to know what star you was born under, if you would like to know and get your spirituality back, let Ramutep Queb do a birth chat and a natal chat on you. Go on Facebook to Ramutep Queb and go and we're at www.patahoriginals.com, and you could buy a calendar. Ramutep Queb is a official global distributor of the ancient Vasari Kemetic solar system lunar calendar and methodological star timeline. There are only 2 or 3 official global distributors. Okay, Ramutep Queb is on Facebook. I'm on Facebook. You can order your calendar. Right now, the Naga ship is being developed. We're going to have a mother satellite called the Naga Ship Association. We're going to have 10,000. We're going to have a mothership that has 10,000 satellites. I'm going to give websites to every teacher in America, every African teacher who's bringing something to the table. I'm going to give you a free website that because nobody's going back to school. Nobody's going back to school. Their school days are over. They got a pathogen out there, okay? And they're enforcing that pathogen, okay? Everything's going to be online now. So we're going to set up an online base to teach you how to speak West African, how to speak Meduneta, how to learn all the skills that you would learn in our cultural spirituality, all under 110. And I'm giving it to the Steepers for free. But I'm an affiliate, so I get. If you have something for you have a class for $100, I get $15. I mean, $15, you get the rest. But you get the website for free. And we want to get these teachers out here because we have to get these teachers, our children have to get the information from our own people. And we have to get the cultural, cosmic, collective conscious spirituality. So this is what we're bringing to the table. But we have the website is developing. It's almost done. I don't want to break the surprise yet. But we got blessings for our children, blessings for our females, blessings for the Mutnatats, and for the hotheads. You know, there's nothing I can do for you. But right now, we need everybody to come together. So we can no longer afford to be divided and undecided. We must become united in the Ab, Hat, Ba, So, Ka, double of the Samatawi under one Ipeteru, one Shabit Temtuaru Pamaat, one solar civil lunar calendar. We can't use that other Kemetic calendar because I might as well put chains back on mine. How am I going to get a Kemetic calendar that got 10-day week and 30-day month? And we all know they actually don't think that you could count to 30. So obviously you're playing with my intelligence. I'm mad already because that's a violation. You're violating my women, my females, my mothers. You're violating my children. You're violating my spirituality with a phony Kemetic calendar that got a 10-day week. That means it's 3 weeks in a month. That means it's 30 days in a month. That means it's an agricultural calendar. You can feed people with it. Don't get me wrong. But you cannot connect to the cosmic environment. You cannot connect to the Milky Way galaxy. You cannot connect to the phenomenon of precession, the 26,000-year cycle. This is what it's all about. So if you're feeding me something that I can't connect to my 26,000 year, which I must come from the womb of my mother, and I exit through the womb of Newt, through the Milky Way galaxy. If you're preventing me from doing that, so why don't we all come together? So this is what we need to address. We need to put the thing. I'm almost 70 years old. I'm 65 years old. I'm getting ready to hit 70. I'm not here playing no games. We gotta hold our teachers accountable. If you have a mathematical calendar with 30 days, that means you're trying to kill me. You're trying to kill my people. There's no other way to put it. Y'all play games if you want. They don't want to talk to me because they know PTAH. I'll call you out. I don't care what your name is. Don't let me start dropping names out here, okay? But I've been waiting 10 years. I've been presenting this calendar to the KEMETIC community for 10, 15 years, and they keep ignoring me. Now I'm starting to get feeling kind of. I've been letting it go because they say PTAH's a hair trigger. PTAH's a hair trigger. PTAH, he ain't got no class. He's the hair trigger. He got no etiquette. He tell me what you want. You got the wrong guy. You play with the wrong guy. So I'm letting you know. I'm not calling out no names, but I haven't heard. I'm getting ready to call names. So Kepler, you better stop me. You better break into the conversation, Kepler, because I'm ready to call out one of these. He starts to show off. I'm going to tell you who he is. You know who he is. He starts to show off. Oh, welcome to Sundays. Welcome to Sundays. Welcome to Sundays spiritual. And I want to go for the Hefty this Sunday. He keeps telling me Sunday. He keeps mentioning Sunday, and he's burning my brain with this Hellenistic imprisonment he's trying to throw at me. Why do you keep saying Sunday when you know there is no Sunday? If it's Sunday, that means you just on my neck.
Don't you just gotta let that run off your back.
I try to. That's what I do. I shake it off.
You gotta be that smooth stone. You gotta be that smooth stone in the river.
Yes.
Yeah.
We want to thank Brother Richie and Mr. Riggs and the Queen Mother Goddess for allowing us on their platform, Black Ice TV, every year, 3 times a year. They're always there for us when no one else would let us speak. We go to England, and Black Ice TV, Richie and Mr. Riggs is always there for PTAH and his students and the concept of self-creation and the doctrines of my art. So I give praises to you, and that's why I would hope that somebody would donate, but don't worry about it. He's bringing you top-notch information every time. Brother Richie brings somebody to the table. It's always about contributing to our cultural spirituality, and I give praises to Brother Richie every day, all day, and Mr. Riggs, because they're always there providing for us with top-notch information that enriches our cultural spirituality. And I would like to say, if Kepler Patel would like to close it out, I would like to say, in the words of our paternal father, Asa Unefa Kentiamenti, that within the whole of the universe, nothing is ever added and nothing is ever lost. This is Patal Sikasa. Kepler Patel, would you like to have a few words to go with?
Take us home, brother.
That I definitely would. I like to give thanks and praise to the cause of all those who are available on this platform. Brother, I'd like to say I'm honored to be on this platform. To my elder, Spdt-Sirius, for having me on this platform as well. And we must continue to acclimate ourselves to the correct time, the right time, because we'll go all the way back to the first time. Like we're on the 26th year of phenomenon processing, meaning that we're going on a right turn. So we're coming this, we say we give thanks and praise to your kind as well, because we want you to get this information. You know, get your Rosarian calendar, support Black Ice TV. Until then, we say peace, we say Uncle Ucha Seneb, Hatepu, all praises be to the ancient ones, the Nagas, and all the ancestors. Hatep, Uncle Ucha Seneb.
How about Tef Queb? You want to say one thing before you leave?
I just want to say I greatly appreciate everything that you do, Brother Richie. Mr. Riggs, you brothers is just phenomenal. All the work, all the programs, all the master teachers, all the great
greatness of our people that graces your platform. It is truly a blessing that you fellas have, are just, oh man, it's just, you brothers are, how you say, as Stephen would say, the shizness, you know what I mean? But in my closing words, just know and understand, people, that it's our time. It's our time. You see, like, look in my eyes, and I'm telling you, it is our time. It's our time to keep waking up. It's our time to grab our people and lead them to the way, not of the old, but into this new age order. With us in this new age order, there's a lot of things that's going to happen, from environmental relapse to a lot of these diseases and things of these natures that they're doing. But just know that we have the power, and just keep
Everybody
on keeping
rise.
on and
Everybody
rise up
rise.
with something.
Rise for
Because
something.
it's our New Year's, baby. Woo! Let's get it.
All right.
Let's get it.
Atura Hotel.
No doubt, people. Know what you've been listening to. Know the reason why this information is powerful. We always talk about black excellence, but we have to know about the time frame when we was in our best mind and our best state. Yeah, let's activate off of today. Let's live on. Let's live strong. Let's keep it black always. Yeah. Peace and love to everybody that's tuned in today. Peace and love, especially to all my UK people that came nice and fresh and early. Peace and love to my brothers on the panel. Peace and love to the sister that dropped off earlier. Joy. Yeah. Give thanks for everybody. And big up to the energies and the Necharoos, yeah, out here. Peace, 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 people.